Okay. That should do it. We should be live. So hello everyone. It's your failed programming error that just refused to be fixed, CodeErr. And we're going to be continuing with some Genshin Impact today. Hooray! And by continuing, I mean we're going to be playing a new event that came out. So yeah, also Gabe, hello. Spinne is also already here. Hope everything is well. Video error, as per usual, huh? So yeah, you know the drill. There is a new event going on that I have to check out. This event, 13 days, that is more than enough time for me to do it. So according to Spinne, this event is relatively short, so maybe we'll be able to do the entire story in one stream. If not, then the next stream I do where we finish this event will also contain the Furina story quest. For now though, let's get into this. I hope you're ready for whatever the event holds. Because you know it's gonna be somewhat important at least, considering that, you know, it's gonna have voice acting. Then again, there was another event that had voice acting that I actually skipped. Because it was only like the intro dialogue that had voice acting, and then it was like, hey, take pictures. And that's it. Alright, let's take a look-see. Let's see what this event is all about.
That can't be right. Oh, but what if they're real after all? No, that can't be. But what if there's a chance?
I think I'm gonna turn up the volume just a teeny tiny bit more. What do you think? I think so. Maybe around there. It's always a bit hard for me to adjust everything, but I think we're good.
Greetings, miss. Is there something that's bothering you?
Yeah, I think that should be fine.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm Della Roche, the representative of the Fontaine Fishing Association. How can I help you?
We received your commission request, apparently.
Oh, so you're adventurers. Oh, finally. Someone has heard my prayers.
Paimon could tell you were really bothered
Don't what,
by
Spin
something.
it?
Don't worry, you've got two super
How funny.
adventurers right here. We'll take care of anything and everything for you as long as you pay us a little bit of more.
And by a little bit, you mean what?
You
A
are
million?
exactly the helpers I need. See, the problem is that the fish around a fishing spot at Araneus have just all up and vanished recently. They disappeared too quickly for it to have been the work of human anglers. As the representative of the Fishing Association, I had planned to go and investigate the area right away.
But...
Right, but unfortunately, as the representative of the Fishing Association, there are a few other errands that I absolutely have to run. So
you'd like us to investigate the spot for you?
what exactly are we looking for, though?
exactly, you're right, Anamora. So I thought I could delegate this work to you. Are you two some kind of prophets, knowing exactly what I was going to say like that? Or maybe like the oracles you read about in fairy tales.
We could be, but no, it was just obvious. Hired makers of the best hackline to make something to counter hack it. You know what? That is a pro move. Just take the people who know all about the field to figure out how to stop it. It's genius, really. Alright, nope, we already told you that we're adventurers.
Yeah, we're just really experienced in this kind of thing, that's all.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'll get a good night's sleep knowing
To
the
make
two
an
of you
official
are
game.
on the case.
Nah, they
But
won't
don't
because
you need to
Nintendo is being
investigate the
Nintendo.
missing fish? It really
They're too busy
doesn't
suing
sound
people.
too difficult.
No, you mustn't let your guard down. As the representative of the Fishing Association, I have good reason to believe that the fish have gone missing due to an encounter with the water imps.
What? Excuse me, what now?
Yes, you're both Outlanders, right? Our local fairy tales often speak of a terrifying underwater creature called Thelxie. The story our parents would tell us was always the same. If we went to the water alone, then we'd be snatched away and eaten by a water imp called Toxie.
A child eating water imp? Did they tell you what it looked
It's
like?
just a story so kids don't wander out too
My father would
far.
always describe it as a beautiful,
sure.
multicolored snake woman, while my mother said it had a handsome face. It's really strange, though, because you'd also hear other people describe it as just a chubby penguin with a deceptive appearance. Even though the tales vary regarding its appearance, everyone agrees that it's really dangerous. It lives in an underwater cave surrounded by pallid bones and uses its sensitive nose to track down lonely children who've lost their way.
Again, definitely
And
just a
once it
story
finds a
told to
child,
keep
it
children
uses
from wandering
its
too far,
alluring
but
singing
sure.
voice to lure them into the water before swallowing them whole. Pretty terrifying, isn't it?
Sounds kind of scary. But isn't that pretty normal for a fairy tale? After all, those kinds of stories are usually made up to help keep children away from danger.
Exactly.
But what if the fairy tale was inspired by a real-life tale? Just like how a water vein always has a source.
Do you have any concrete evidence?
Well, I wouldn't call it evidence per se, but I've heard some rumors lately. They say that someone recently saw a child walk into the water as if he was possessed by something. Doesn't that sound just like he was responding to the call of a water imp?
So you mean someone really got eaten by a water imp?
Watch out, Paimon, you could be next.
It's all hearsay,
Miss
so it's
Emergency
hard to
Food.
confirm. But still, they all say this happened on Aeneas. That's no laughing matter if you ask me. Both the Opera House and the Fountain of Lucine were built there, and the sources
Sid!
of many water veins can be traced to the
What's
island
up?
as well. Combine
How did your
that with the
Minecraft stream
mysterious
go?
mist, the huge
Welcome,
tree with expansive
Raiders.
underground roots, and the rumor that the fish apps on the island can understand human language.
How is it going? How is it going? Hope your Minecraft stream went superb. I think you were playing Minecraft. I think I was like checking in for a second or two, but I was busy setting up stuff. Glad to know it was fun. I think most people who are on Sid's channel have been here like at least once in the past, maybe from a previous raid, but just in case, hey, I'm Code. I do never mind that! Sid, the sub too? Seriously? 31-month streak! Not just subscribe for 31 months, but 31-month streak. How do you keep a streak going for that long on subscription? Seriously, thank you. Thank you. I mean, it goes without saying, but I really, really do appreciate that. Damn it, I was just about to say what I was doing, and then that comes out of nowhere. There's currently an event going on in Genshin Impact in the newest nation they added, which is Fontaine. It's related to the fishing association, so yeah, it is approaching 3 years, slowly but surely. Seriously, man, have we really known each other for that long already? Wow. That would mean that, yeah, not even a year into streaming, I stumbled across your channel. Feels like that wasn't that long ago. And yet at the same time, kind of does feel like it was forever ago. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. I just can't. Time is weird. On the end half and slowly making progress on it. That is good, that is nice. I don't think I've actually gone into the end on the server yet. Does not feel like it's been 3 years, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Trying to think back to what you were playing when I first raided you. It's hard to recall, I was so far back. Doki Doki? It might have been Doki Doki. That would make sense. Because I'm always fond of checking out some Doki Doki stuff, so that might very well be it. I think so, yeah. Man, and I'm still a Doki Doki fanboy to this day. In fact, some people might be aware I actually started playing Doki Doki again every Saturday now. It is still fun. Naturally, the most fun part is that clip I posted a while back, like a few days ago, of me getting called out by Yuri for playing it. That was very interesting. I mean, I know Doki Doki can they like calling you out by name sometimes. But the fact that it recognized my name and was like, hang on a second. There's that one streamer dude. That was very intriguing to me. I think it's obvious why I would have reacted in a very happy way. But yeah, I thought it was pretty hilarious when that happened, but also quite nice. I mean, it does feel very nice to be like playing something and then suddenly, hang on, these people know of me. Man, I'm looking forward to continuing with that. But it'll have to wait until Saturday. Thank you so much for the head pat, by the way. They're
really
appreciated.
So shocking that an island so shrouded in mystery could harbor a terrifying water imp as well?
Why does Paimon feel like you're
But
pulling
yeah,
our leg?
for now we're checking out this
Rumors
event.
now.
Very
Still,
different
if
game from the
someone's
DLC
really been
today.
with them, we can't just ignore the situation, right, Traveler?
Alright, we'll go check it out.
Oh, marvelous. Then I'll just mark the stretch of water on your map. Don't forget that no matter what, safety always comes first.
Awkward silence, there we go. Alright, part 1, Water Imp's Conjecture. Let's see, is that far away? That is very far away, we're teleporting. Sounds like a Melusine. Does she though? Also thank you for the head pats as well. Alright, I guess that's the nearest teleport point, let's go there. But yeah, a lot of stuff happened so far. I still can't believe that the Fontaine story is basically wrapped up already. Feels like Fontaine hasn't even been out for that long. But maybe it felt so much shorter just because of how much bigger the previous nation was. I mean, compare Fontaine. Don't get me wrong, it's decently sized. But compare that to Sumeru. Of like the desert alone already taking up this much space. Fontaine is definitely a bit smaller, you have to admit. So I can cosplay from the game. I love that. There are so many good characters in this. I'm still very happy that I have... Ooh, by the way, did I? I haven't yet. I can almost push Nouvellette up to max level. But I've decided after a lot of thought that perhaps I will not add Nouvellette to my team, but instead go for Furina. But Furina will also still need a lot of leveling if I want to add her. But come on, Nouvellette is so nice. Such a great character. I love this dude. Love him so much. Now where is she? There we go. Furina is the other character I'm considering adding. In fact, I'd be very glad to add her. Could replace Jean as my healer. The only problem is that She can not only heal your team, but also drain your HP. I've made that experience in the past when playing co-op with people. I'm playing Zhongli, my main, and I'm like, ha, I have a shield, I am completely invulnerable. And then one of my teammates plays Furina, and despite my shield being up, I see my HP slowly going down and down and down because they use Furina and her skills drain the HP of everyone on the team. So that is ever so interesting. Spinne, I know exactly who you're talking about. In fact, I don't even have her. I'd have to go to the thing, because you're talking about Hu Tao, who I do not have, and who I do not plan to even pull for. But yeah, we know, you are very obsessed with Hu Tao. Everyone knows it, Spinne. And it's fair. I mean, it's fair. But your waifu is nothing compared to the ultimate husbando. So, you know. Still, I get that they synergize pretty well.
Tourist spots. I have a
Is this the stretch of water Delaroche was talking about? It looks really peaceful. Huh? Look, there are some footprints over there.
I don't see them yet, but sure. If Paimon says so, then there must... Ah, now I see them. She does vibe. I mean, she vibes as much as the, as someone who runs a funeral business can vibe. Thanks again, so many headpads. But yeah, she loves giving people, like, good deals on their funerals. Especially adventurers. Doesn't she also do, like, 2-for-1 specials? Fun stuff. Footprints extend all the way into the water.
These look pretty fresh. Did the water imp get someone again? Let's look around and see if we can find anything else.
Nice levels. You still don't have constellation?
Wait.
Then you're clearly not
Did you hear
simping hard
something
enough.
just
Gurgling noises can be heard coming from the water. Thank you very much for the lurk. You take care of your plans. You take care of that. And I'll do my best to figure out what is going on here. The noises grow louder and louder. Until something emerges with a loud splash. Hello, Freminet.
What is that? Don't come any closer!
Hello,
Paimon?
Freminet.
Traveler?
Freminet?
I'm sorry. I forgot I was still wearing this.
Freminet removes his diving helmet. Freminet indeed.
Paimon, are you okay?
Paimon nearly mistook you for a water imp.
What if he is the water imp of the myths and legends?
Huh? A water imp?
We're investigating a water imp called Thelxie.
Thelxie, you say? How surprising.
Surprising?
You know that name too? Or do you know someone else who's trying to investigate the water imp?
No, I think our situations are probably unrelated.
Then could you tell us about what's going on with you?
Sure, if that's in order.
Yeah, yes, I order my
because of
friends
one of
around,
my
as you know.
employers. She noticed the clockwork penguins I brought to the workshop and contacted me through the shop's owner. She has commissioned me to make a special toy. Following her request, I've named the toy Thelxie.
Huh? But isn't it a little creepy to name a toy after a water imp? Wait, hold on. Freminet, you never take commissions from other people.
Yeah, but, she made a special request, but out of respect for her privacy,
Oh?
I can't really talk about it.
Curious,
So
what do you
though,
mean by that?
She'll be coming over to check on my progress shortly, And I'll just tell
That's
her
an
that you
order?
killed my
Yes.
trustworthy companions.
Absolutely.
Hearing that, she might be willing to share some information, and you'll be able to continue with your investigation.
Huh. Even though you seem a little cold and reserved sometimes, you're still really considerate. Our target isn't necessarily the water imp, though. We're primarily here to investigate the disappearance of the fish.
Did you know anything about that?
The fish?
Yeah, there ain't no fish here. Freminet nods slightly and seems lost in thought after you tell him about the commission from the Fishing Association. Suddenly, his breath catches in his throat.
Ah, I think I may have connected the dots.
Already? Well, that was a short story
These
quest.
past few weeks, I've been taking Thelxie for underwater testing every day. The pressure testing makes a lot of noise. So,
Mask from
all
one
that
set
about
and
the
stuff.
disappearing fish?
Dude, we haven't
Well,
seen the
it was
Traveler
probably
wear
because
any
of
kind
me.
of disguise ever since that mask.
So that's how it was? That actually makes a lot of sense. Wait, so could that mean the child we heard about who walked into the water was also...
Just Freminet preparing for another day of work? I guess so. Freminet just a lost little child. But yeah, honestly, it's kind of sad that we haven't gotten any customization options for the Traveler. Feels like they should add them at some point. I mean, I say that. Technically, there's customization. You can use the different elements and thus add a little bit of different color to the Traveler. And that is it. But yeah. Head. True, the flowers as well. Almost forgot about those. The Akasha. Man, they already have customization. Why not make it like a thing that you can turn on? Just Freminet preparing for another day of work, yeah.
I think that's quite likely as well.
So in the end, it was just Freminet. Paimon spent all this time imagining what a water imp from the fairy tales might look like, and it all turns out to be just a hoax.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
makes sense though.
It sounds like I've created a lot of trouble for everyone else as well. I'll try to finish this commission as soon as possible. Once I'm done, the fish should come back.
Don't worry about it, it was just a misunderstanding.
Thank you.
Actually, how much work do you still have left, Freminet? Maybe we could lend you a hand.
Thanks for offering. But I can't trouble you any more than I already have.
Can't you
It's
though?
no trouble at all. Didn't you just call us your trustworthy companions? Companions are all about helping each other, you know?
But don't you need to report back to your commissioner?
Ah,
That's not how it
there's
works.
no rush.
Paimon's got these commissioner types all figured out, even though we were just tasked with finding out why the fish had gone missing. If we
Hydro
tell
Traveler's
them
the
now that it
worst.
was all just a
Well, good thing I'm not
misunderstanding,
using Traveler at
they
all.
just immediately hand us another commission to help them get the fish back.
Yeah, we're just really experiencing this kind of thing, that's all.
Exactly. So if we can help you finish up your work and get the fish back, that would save us an extra trip.
Is that what you'd like to do as well?
Who is, but still. Aren't there like some Traveler builds that are actually decent? Also, some people keep Traveler on the team just for the sake of, I want to use the character that's in the story. Anyway, yeah, I think Paimon's right.
Alright, I'll trust your judgment. Please follow me. I've made a makeshift camp over there.
Really good. And then Hydro breaks the streak. Maybe Pyro will be better. But even though, I can tell you already, even though the Fontaine story is technically
stored
done,
Thelxie in
there's
the
definitely
tent.
still gonna be story
He
quests
can
for this
respond
nation
to some
coming out.
simple verbal commands. You can try calling his name and see if he'll come over.
Whoa.
And there are multiple
pretty
reasons why I think
advanced.
that.
Let Paimon give it a try.
One,
Hey, Thelxie.
again,
Are you
it feels
there?
like Fontaine hasn't been out nearly long enough. Two, the simplest reason, actually, the most obvious reason, each nation has 2 weekly bosses. Fontaine still only has 1. And I'm pretty sure every nation, or at least almost every nation, has 1 weekly boss that you unlock in the main story, and 1 weekly boss that you unlock in a character story. So there's still gonna be some character story that adds another weekly boss to Fontaine. That is what I believe. Assuming the Furina one doesn't add one, but yeah. And yeah, it could be Nouvellette Act 2. That makes the most sense. Also, hello Tormuse. How's it going? How are you doing? How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Oh god, I don't speak Morse code.
So that's Freminet's version of Thelxie. It's also penguin-shaped, just like Pear.
Yep.
Have you impacted the
If Thelxie lived in
Genshin?
Penguin
Oh, I
Town,
do be
he'd
impacting the
probably have
Genshin
become
right
great
now.
friends with Pear.
In fact, I have impacted the Genshin so hard I'm already done with the main story again. I'm just doing the recent event right now. And waiting for more updates to drop where they add more main story. Because there's still 2 nations that we have yet to visit. 7 nations are apparently in this world in Tevat. We've gone to 5 now. The next nation they're gonna add is the Nation of Fire. Everything's gonna change when the Fire Nation attacks. Who's out? Oh, okay, so it's just keyboard spam. Got it. So good thing I don't need to translate then. Where's Penguin Town?
It's not really anywhere famous or important. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Thelxie. Nice to meet you. Do you know how to say hello?
Sorry, I missed it. It would have been fun to be there when I acknowledged that I pointed you out to it. Honestly, again, that moment came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that. To be fair, how would I have could I have expected that? Seriously. Again, amazing dev, have to say. Now I'm curious to see if there's any other references I'll encounter. Any other Easter eggs I might find. Plus, there's still some stuff I need to do. Again, in the first episode of the season, you can ask Yuri about other characters. And at the time I was at that moment, I didn't remember the names of the people in Natsuki's friend group. So I have to go back there at some point and ask her about those characters and what they have been up to. And see if there's any other characters I missed. I definitely asked her about Rie and Fuyuki. And I think those were the only other special characters I asked her about. So can Thelxie talk?
I wanted to install a language output module, but due to time constraints, I had to give up on the idea. As it stands, Thelxie can only output messages that were pre-written into its motherboard.
I tried that, but she doesn't
recognize
recognize the player name or just the term player.
Words, so
Thelxie, we like Thelxie. Can I have... You know what? I probably can has Penguin. I assume once I'm done with the story, I can unlock it.
And install this language module, right?
No, there's no need.
Oh, like full on.
Employer's requests.
Imagine.
It was just something I wanted to try. I have 2 other things I'd like your help with.
Alright.
The first is to do some integration testing on Thelxie's motherboard, to make sure he will be able to function properly in most situations.
That doesn't sound too hard. And what's the other thing?
The other shouldn't take too long either. You'll need to find Thelxie some colorful shells and coral, so I can craft a weapon for him.
Weapon?
A
Weapon? For
Will
Thelxie?
Thelxie have to fight?
It's good lately, especially when I was streaming myself.
Thelxie will need to be able to charge forward with a weapon in
at some
hand.
point because I happen
like
to
that brave prince
stream
of
when my mod was
legend. It's
so that's how that happened.
What an imaginative employer. Naming
Well,
Thelxie
without you,
after
that
a
moment
water
wouldn't
imp,
have happened
but
on
wanting him to
stream,
look like
so
a
you
prince?
definitely helped make my day at that point.
Well,
whether you were there or
regardless of his
not.
role or species, Thelxie's purpose is the same. Just like Pear, he has come to this world to serve as somebody's companion.
Yes,
Whoa,
Thelxie, whatever
Thelxie
you
just said
say.
something again. Could he understand what we were just talking about?
He can react to certain
Natsuki
key
quest.
words,
Go, damn, I
but
really
unfortunately,
Ah,
due
yes,
to the
Natsuki
lack of a
quest.
translation module, he still can't quite communicate with us.
Natsuki quest, show us something.
Kitty. But anyway, the
Again, I
most
tried
important
to
thing
see
right now is
everything,
for
but
us
I
to
know
get to it.
for a fact I
Maybe let's
didn't.
start by doing
That I still
some
missed some
testing
stuff.
of the motherboard. That sounds like
In fact, I'm
something
pretty
we could
sure,
do
yeah,
here
it's
in the camp.
impossible to get everything in Natsuki
Sounds
quest
good.
on one run.
The motherboard is on my workbench, so please follow me.
What's Natsuki quest? Did you not remember Doki Doki Club Meeting Season 2, containing the mod Natsuki quest?
Ah, here we go. I have this testing manual, so
The
feel free to
amazingly
reference
designed
it if you
in-depth
get
mod where you can
stuck.
interact with all
Want
kinds of
to
stuff and
give it a
try out
try?
everything on everything.
It's okay if you don't succeed immediately. I've got a lot of backup boards just in case.
You know, the one where you can decide, I want to use the stick on MC. I want to use the hook stick on MC. Or I want, now I remember, there you go, there you go. The one where I went everywhere. Like, the moment where, like, I have obtained a new object. Well, time to leave school and go back to Natsuki's home and try and go through the entire map again with that new object I have obtained. More than the mod things, yeah. Very, very well put together. So much stuff. Alright, let's give this a try. What
Okay.
about this motherboard?
Knowing you, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out.
Alright, guess we're testing that. Debug the motherboard. To drag to assemble the circuit. So what do I just do this? Okay, I have to figure out how exactly this works. Can I move this? Oh, I can delete those two, okay. I can't oh, no, never mind. There we go. I can connect it. Okay, figured it out. Yeah, the self-esteem was the best inventory item of them all. Debugging successful. Gotta love using the self-esteem on everything.
You're doing well. Just as I expected.
We've taken on a lot of similar tasks before, you know.
Then let's move on to the underwater part. It's just as I mentioned earlier. We're after colorful shells and coral.
Alright, shouldn't be too hard to
Oh,
find.
Speaking of which, you're both already
I failed in the
pretty
test
used to
level because I was
Fontaine's
testing things
underwater
out and didn't know
environment,
how it worked
right?
yet. Now I know exactly what I can do and what I can't do. More or less, we're pretty much experts now.
Okay, that's good. Just let me know if you ever feel uncomfortable. I'll make sure to stay right by your side.
Thanks, Freminet. Alright, how far away is that? Is it better to teleport? Won't make much of a difference, but I think this is still a bit faster. Alright, let's go! And this is exactly why the Fontaine update is so amazing. I just love how gorgeous everything looks underwater.
It should be right over there.
It just looks
We'll be able to
amazing.
find something that'll help us with our search. This is it. We call this thing an echoing conch. It can detect special reflection waves in the water to help us with all kinds of underwater exploration and excavation efforts. Here, try it. Did you notice any interesting places? The echoing conch should have detected
Swim
some
indeed.
just now. Let's go
Good
check
thing
them
about
out.
Fontaine, it's the only nation in the game where you literally cannot drown. In every other nation you can drown, but not here. Wow. And I got everything. I guess this is like what the little side missions are
Alright,
gonna be here.
these should be enough. Let's head back to camp. Thank you for
Yeah,
staying
we have
out
super
here
not
with me all
drowning
this time.
skills. Exactly what we need. Can I teleport right here? I can! That makes it a lot easier. I always like it when you can actually teleport to the event location. And don't have to walk every time. Can we help you?
Ah, Freminet, you're back. I thought you might have been out diving.
I'm sorry, Madame
some help.
Destray. I must have kept you waiting. I can report, though, that the construction of Thelxie is going quite smoothly.
There's no rush. I'm your employer, not your supervisor. And these two are...
Friends.
Oh,
Helpers.
they're two of my
Whatever.
trustworthy companions. They're here to help me work on Thelxie.
Yes, I see. I suppose it's only natural for someone responsible like you to have some reliable friends.
It's really nice to meet you, Madame Destray. Are you Freminet's employer? Paimon is
She
Paimon and this is a
literally just
traveler.
said that, Paimon. Were you listening?
Greetings, my new friends. Just call me Zuria. You are both so adorable. The sight of you reminds me of little fairies under a cottage roof.
Hmm.
Oh, do you really think so?
Do I look like a fairy too?
Of course. If
I
my
look like a
child had friends
fairy.
like you, then perhaps he wouldn't have become so obsessed with the tales of water imps. And I wouldn't have had to trouble Freminet here with this commission.
Obsessed with the tales of water imps?
Ah, so you don't know anything about my request yet? I would have thought Freminet had explained it to you already.
No, he said he can't because
Well,
privacy.
Freminet told us that it was a private matter, so he didn't want to just share it willy-nilly.
I see. So Monsieur Freminet is even more discreet than I had thought. As you are assisting him with the project, I believe it'll be beneficial for you to learn more about its vision and history. But it would be quite impolite of me to simply pile all of my troubles on you without your permission. So, would you like to listen to my
Well, I mean,
story?
I'm already doing the quest, so I
Sure,
might
you
as
can tell
well.
us anything. You've already said nice things about us, so we'll try our best to help you get through your troubles.
For the right payment.
What a
Oh,
lovely
it's
little thing.
vision?
It might
Nani?
take
A
little bit to
vision?
put my situation into words. I'm sure you're already familiar with the tale of the water imps, right? Simply put, parents came up with a story, painting water imps as scary abductors in an effort to convince their children to stay away from the water.
Mm-hmm.
My child is rather special, however. While most other children are terrified of Thelxie, he's infatuated with him.
Well, that is
Infatuated? With
curious.
a water imp? What a brave soul.
Yes, he told me that he thought the water imp might have just been misunderstood. In his mind, instead of singing to abduct children, the water imp actually sang out of a longing for companionship. As a result, he often goes near the water in secret.
So
he
that's
wanted
why
to
you
become
want to
friends
make a
with the
little
water imp
companion.
So it wouldn't be lonely any longer? What a unique way of thinking.
Thank you, little Paimon. He indeed has always stood out from the crowd. He was actually diagnosed with loneliness syndrome when he was only 8 years old.
Loneliness syndrome?
It's a type of mental disorder. Those affected by it often feel extremely lonely and lose interest in many mundane activities. The syndrome is probably what made him so determined to become friends with the water imp.
Oh no. Is it a very serious disorder?
So you make
If you were to
loneliness
become
syndrome.
afflicted
Yes,
with the
apparently
disorder, Paimon,
loneliness syndrome.
you would only be able to say less than a fraction of the words
It
you're
is good
saying
to
the
know because I
traveler
have
now.
not heard of that actually being a thing. Sounds like depression.
We would have
Well,
to
I'd say it's
have to help
probably
Kid
similar
Cycling.
in some
I have a
ways.
2,000-word quota for daily conversations with the traveler, and she won't settle for a single word less.
The family doctor has already begun to treat my son. But since the disorder is rare, there aren't many good regimens for treatment. He's also developed some new symptoms lately, such as uncontrollable
Delusions now too? First visions, now delusions?
Uncontrollable what now?
We're talking about the things that give you
Uncontrollable
elemental powers
delusions.
here.
To put it simply, he can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality. And
No,
spends
delusions
all
like
his
the thing
time
Child
in his
wields
fantasy
to harness the
world.
power of Electro.
Then what is he seeing in his fantasy world?
It's a dream that he often mentioned to me when he was younger. I've compiled what I could understand of his recent rambling. It goes a bit like this.
Once upon a time, there was a splendid and magnificent underwater kingdom of water imps on the Salacia plain, 500 feet beneath the surface. Countless lovely water imps lived in houses made of rainbow shells and corals, tending to sea animals during the day and singing between fields of golden Tidaga during the night. Everyone led carefully and blessed lives until the day of the Iridescence Parade, the important festival during which the new king would be crowned. Before the festival, nothing good ever happens during a festival, before the festival, all water imps would select the most precious pearl they owned, wrap it in golden branches and leaves, and offer it to their most beloved prince. And during the day of the parade, the prince would cross a rainbow bridge made from all of the offered shells and accept the crown from his father amid the applause of his subjects. Finally, the new king would bless everyone with his well wishes. And as for the prince's name, it's none other than Thelxie.
Amazing. Your son came up with all of this? He really crafted a lovely fairy tale world for Thelxie. It's like a beautiful dream.
But perhaps no beautiful dream can
Also,
ever
hello.
last long.
Alidor, lurking, but I
story
wanted to say
ended with
hi.
a
Thank you
twist.
so much for the lurk. It's appreciated and welcome. I do really appreciate it. Are the drops still a thing? If so, you're probably here for the drops as well. If the drops aren't a thing, that's also then I appreciate even more the fact that you're willing to lurk even more. Alright. The day of the Iridescence Parade came as expected, but countless monsters also arrived alongside the prince. The monsters were evil and cruel, and they struck fear into all the water imps' hearts. The water imps, adept at singing as they were, could not defend themselves against the monsters. So the kingdom fell, the king was killed, and the water imps were locked behind bars. The rainbow bridge lost its color and crumbled away. The prince was barely able to escape with the help of a mysterious masked individual, but he had already lost everything, and could only spend his days singing mournful songs. Just hanging out. I do appreciate that, but hey, if you ever do want to play Genshin, remember it's free. But damn, it takes a lot of processing power by now. It's a big game, okay? It's massive. But free. And just as the prince sang out of loneliness, so could his song only be heard by similarly lonely children.
How could the story end like this? Is that kind of fantasizing what caused your son to develop his loneliness syndrome?
Well, it'd be more accurate to say that it was the syndrome that caused such terrible delusions to manifest. But in any case, the biggest problem is the patient eventually loses themselves to the fantasy world of their own creation.
What do you mean?
My poor child can no longer differentiate between imagination and reality. He's begun to see himself as Thelxie.
And that's why you want to make an artificial
Perhaps
Thelxie.
in his mind, the loneliness he felt became the same as that of a prince who lost everything he ever loved or stood for.
What? So that's what you meant by uncontrollable delusions. Then we have to help him snap out of it.
Again, that's why we're making the little
Alas.
robot.
Most of the time, he acts as if he can no longer sense or interact with the real world at all. I've had several discussions with the doctor, and we think it is best to try to guide his fantasy.
Guide his fantasy.
He once wanted to make a picture book of his imaginary world. But since the disorder progressed too quickly, he never quite got past the first page of the book. If we could use this book as a breakthrough for his condition. Here, you can take a look.
So Zuria's son also
Truly
saw
an
Felixy
artist.
as a penguin. Oh, he looks so sad.
What an artist
What we
that
should
kid
do
is.
now is help him complete this picture book. However, we'll lead the story to a different ending. One where the water imp prince is eventually able to restore his kingdom with the help of his friends. We'll need to chase away his loneliness and sorrow, and let him perceive a world full of hope again. That's what I mean by guiding his fantasy.
Alright,
Just need
alright.
to finish the picture book. Why does Freminet need to make a Felixy as well?
Because we need to treat
Reasons.
the book's story seriously, as if it's a history of things that have really happened. We'll need to go on a journey like Felixy and help him regain his crown and country.
And that's why we need a weapon as well, right?
My child can no longer go on a journey of his own. This is why I commissioned Freminet here to craft a Felixy, and then I'll paint the journey with this Felixy into the picture book.
Ah, like a stand-in for your son. Paimon's starting to get it now.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
you really put a lot of thought into this, Zuria. Paimon still has one question, though. Where will we be able to find a Water Imp Kingdom?
There are some ruins on the seabed of the Salacia Plains. I've already asked
There are
Freminet
many
to
ruins
research them for
everywhere.
me. We'll be able to use one of the ruins as the kingdom.
Oh, so we'll just need to act out a performance of, a brave journey through the Kingdom of Water Imps. As long as we chase away the monsters in the ruins, it'll count as chasing away the monsters in the Water Imp Kingdom, right?
Should probably
Sadly,
count. No?
We won't just be putting on a performance. It's just as Zuria said. We need to take this seriously. And the only way we can take this seriously is if we choose to believe everything that's happening is real.
So we gotta really
So
get in
we'll
there.
be playing it straight, or, making it a fully immersive experience? Oh, neither of those really sound right. Well, either way, we'll still be able to help, right?
We've got this.
It's all right. There's no need to get that serious. It's not a big deal. I believe in my son. We can just see this as him wanting to stay asleep for a bit longer, because he's so enamored with his dream.
Zuria.
Keep your spirits up, everyone. If we were to look troubled, my son is sure to become anxious as well. I should be heading back right about now to check on my son.
Alright, this feels like this is where part
We
1 of the
temporarily
event
moved
wraps
to a
up,
place on the
but
hill
all
over
3
there,
parts are
so
out,
my
so we
son will
should
have
be
a
able
better
to
spot to
continue right
convalesce.
away.
It's not far from the water, and there's also a great view. Feel free to come find me if anything urgent comes up.
Understood.
Alright.
There's also one last thing. Since these two friends were able to help me out, I've made some more progress on
Didn't play
Felixy.
part 3 yet?
I estimate
Well,
that
maybe
he
you
be
should,
ready
unless you don't care
sometime
about
tomorrow.
spoilers.
That's great news. I must thank you all.
Well, we still have to get through
With
part
that in
2
mind,
first,
How
though,
about
so
we
you
meet here
know.
in 2 days' time to head to the Kingdom of Water Imps?
Sounds good.
All
I'll
right,
have to do a
everyone.
time skip in
Let's
that
meet
case.
again in another 2 days.
Just gonna see it here.
Zuria
Alright,
sure
fair.
is a brave and optimistic lady. Freminet, do you think her plan will work out?
Let's discuss that over by the tent. There were a few things that I didn't bring up because the Madame was here.
Oh? So there's still more to part 1. Alright. No, not what I wanted to look at. I wanted to talk. Freminet, talk to me.
What is it, Freminet? What did you want to say?
If you don't mind me asking, I would like the two of you to mentally prepare yourselves.
Mentally prepare ourselves for what?
This is the first time that you've met anyone with the syndrome, right? I know you two are both really strong and will do everything you can to help the child. But with the syndrome being the way it is, if things don't quite turn out as we wish, I hope you'll be able to
Yeah,
accept
we've
the
gone through
outcome
worse.
and
We've
not
literally
put
had
too much
people
blame
die
on
on
yourself.
us.
Freminet, why do you bring this up all of a sudden? Didn't we just promise Zuria that we'll be optimistic about everything
Again, it
working
can't
out?
be worse than having
It's
people
not
die
that
on
I'm
us
not
again.
Optimistic. It's just...
You know this illness really well.
Ah, so that's why you looked like you knew exactly what she was talking about. Wait, Freminet, don't tell Paimon that you also...
No.
Hmm.
Please don't misunderstand. I've never had it. I've just seen many cases of it at the House of the Hearth, back when we lived under the previous director.
We've actually had people
They say there are
die
many
on us
factors
that
surrounding
we
the
didn't want to
development of
die.
this
Take
illness.
Tepe, for example.
I've heard everything from hereditary factors and one's state of mind, to environmental factors, and even ley line disorder effects. Some even say it could be caused by contamination from god remains.
Exactly.
And from
Or
the
silver.
cases I've seen,
So
there
many
weren't many positive
people passed
outcomes.
away on us.
In the worst cases, the patient could even pass away.
Oh, so there is a risk of death.
It could get that serious? And here Paimon thought they'd just stop talking as much.
Yeah, that's just the nature of it. So if you'll find it difficult to cope with the worst case scenario, I would prefer that you back out right now. I don't want you to help only to feel like you failed.
Don't worry, I've seen all kinds of strange and difficult things in life.
Yeah, that's right. Paimon's seen all of those things too. No matter how hard it might get, we won't be scared.
Really? Then in that case, let's see this real-life fantasy adventure together to the end.
Alright. But
Paimon
first I
has a
gotta
question.
step away a little bit,
If this can really be as
advance
bad
2
as you
days, and then
described,
come back.
Then do you really think Zuria's method will be able to help? After all, we'll just be using a toy as Thelxie and some ruins as the Kingdom of Water Imps. The whole adventure will only be turned into a picture book for her son to read.
Well, I think it should be able to do something. To harbor a fantasy means that the child wants to save himself somehow. The only reason he's allowed his dream kingdom to fall is because he's lost control of his heart. But if we can help him regain control and escape from the darkness, we'll be able to change his world. Like helping someone who's lost their voice be able to speak again.
Oh, Paimon sees what you're saying now. Huh. How do you understand all of this so well, Freminet?
Yeah, Freminet.
Well, maybe because I've also had many of my own dreams in the past.
Who
I even had
who
my own
hasn't
fairy
had
tale
some of their
world,
own
much like that
dreams?
boy's. I was able to draw a lot of support from it, so I believe in the power of fantasy worlds.
So the penguin town you mentioned was...
So you remembered.
What Penguin Town? Why doesn't Paimon remember? Is that also a fairy tale world? Don't leave Paimon in the dark!
Suddenly Freminet pulls out a diving helmet and puts it on his head.
Hey, why did you put that on?
It's just one of my personal
Are you
quirks.
embarrassed? Is your face
Please
getting
pay
red?
no
Are you
mind.
hiding it under the helmet because of that?
Anyway, Penguin Town is a peaceful place with lots of penguin residents. They're all really good at making clockwork toys. And Pear is the town's triumphant hero, as well as the one who quietly protects the whole place.
Pear? But didn't you make Pear yourself?
Well, I often think that Pear only
How does he
came
put it
to
on?
me
I'm gonna
because
animate
he
it.
realized how
It's
much I
just like
needed
how
him.
he took it off earlier.
So it's not so much that I made Pear, as Pear chose me as his friend.
Freminet, are sure you're not losing control of your fantasies as well?
No, I don't think so. I can still differentiate
Honestly, with
between
all the
fantasy
different
and
animations
reality.
they have in this game,
I
it's
just
weird how they
believe
could
that the
not
fairy tale
animate
world of
a
my dreams
putting on
must
helmet,
also
taking
exist
helmet off
somewhere.
animation for
It
Freminet,
might just be
considering
hidden,
that's like
which is
one
why
of his
it's
big
difficult to
things.
see. Or it will only reveal itself at very specific times.
Specific times? Like when you put on your diving helmet?
Yeah, that's the general idea of it.
Really? Paimon just said that because you
His
put on your
idol?
helmet.
Have you
Well,
ever
why not put it
observed
in
the
there?
surface world from underwater?
Why don't they use the
It's as
animation if
you're
they have
viewing
it?
a whole different world from the outside. It's a very surreal feeling. Both alienating, but also as if you're being protected by something. I have a similar feeling when I put on my diving helmet. In those moments, it's possible to see some truly wondrous things, as if a fairy tale has become reality. It's almost like a sort of miracle.
Really? Like a miracle?
Now I want to try on your helmet too.
Well, if that's in order.
I'm just kidding. Yep, that's an order.
Hey, now's not the time! Freminet still has Thelxie's weapon to make. We don't want to bother him now.
Right. I still have to collect some tools I'll need to craft the weapon.
Damn it, I don't
I've
get
got
his
to
helmet.
finish everything before tomorrow.
Where's the main character
Thank you for reminding me,
customization?
Paimon. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities for you to try my helmet. Thanks for all of your help. I'll be off for now. Let's meet up here again in 2 days.
We all want his helmet, yes. Quest completed. On to part 2. Nice little music box chime here. Alright, let's get out of there. Guess we have stuff to do. I'll step away just in case, because I know there's often dialogue for when the next part of the event triggers. So let's go ahead. 2 days, huh? Hopefully that should be enough of a time skip. Just waiting. Playing the waiting game, the most fun part of this. And we are back.
Days finally come to meet up with Zuria. Let's head over to Freminet's camp right away.
On it. Alright, I'm back.
Is your child feeling any better?
Thank you for your concern, Freminet. His condition is fairly stable. The family doctor said we might be able to take him out for a stroll today.
Zuria, Freminate, we're here.
Alright.
Seems like everyone's arrived now.
Not quite. Aren't we missing someone? But Paimon has a guess where he might be.
You mean our little robot friend?
Thelxie!
Look at that weaponry. A true warrior.
Whoa! Thelxie's got himself a sword and a shield now. He's looking sharp.
So what's next? Armor?
With his weapons in hand, Thelxie looks more
Nah, I don't think
formidable
we're
than
gonna
ever.
armor up any more than this.
You've really outdone yourself, Freminet.
We helped too.
Yes, you really had a good eye for materials. Everything you found was high quality. Speaking of which, Zuria just told me that she wants to end the adventure with the coronation ceremony.
Alright, that seems
So,
to make sense.
Could I also trouble you with finding some materials for the crown?
Alright, so not armor, but a
You can
crown.
just keep
Got
an eye
it.
out for them on our way to the ruins. I was planning to
hell
collect the
are we getting for
materials
this?
myself, But then I realized you might be able to find some prettier ones than what I could get my hands on.
Consider it done.
Seems like everything's ready to go. Shall we head out?
Please wait a moment. I was just thinking. Since Thalxi has already shown us his brand new appearance,
Yes.
we may already be able to draw a new page in the picture book.
Quick
What do you
progress. Okay, sure, go for it.
Ooh, Paimon's excited now.
What should we draw on the page?
Why don't we use the story we know as a reference? Just make the atmosphere a bit less grim.
So we'll take out the sad parts and replace them with happier stuff? Sounds great to Paimon.
All right, I'll give it a try. I'm not very adept at drawing, but I've seen a lot of art during my work. Now, as far as the actual content of the drawing,
Says
tell
she's
me
not
what
good
you'd
at
like to
drawing,
see.
is about to draw something
Let
way
me
better than
think.
anything I could ever even dream of.
We can draw the weapon. The prince has picked up the Sword of Courage and the Shield of Perseverance, which proves he has crossed the mire of doubt, and now is ready to wage war against the darkness.
okay, I'll add the weapons. Anything else?
Paimon wants to give him some friends. Felxi's got some friends by his side now, so he's no longer fighting alone.
Okay, I'll also draw
Again.
some companions.
Story of
Anything
my
else?
artistic life. Oh yeah, no, I can't really draw. I've only seen drawings of that other people have made. Proceeds to draw this. Ah yes. Man, if only. Don't forget to add some color.
Color. Ah, color, yes, that's really important. The road in front of him now will no longer be just grayscale, but bursting with color and hope. Who would have thought the page could have become so inspiring? How wonderful. Splendid ideas, everyone.
Again, I could not even dream of making something of that quality.
Are you seeing this, my son? Are you feeling inspired by this as well?
I'm sure he is, Zarya. And this is still just the first page.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes from
Paimon can't
here.
wait to see the picture book when it's all finished. We should finish it as soon as possible and keep up the belief and hope in our hearts.
I'm starting to look forward to it as well. So let's get the show on the road and head towards the Kingdom of Water Imps.
Yay! Felxi's fantastic adventures begin now!
Alright, that's the official start of part 2. After some time you arrive at the shore above the underwater kingdom of water imps. Okay, so I just automatically get teleported, I don't even need to travel there. Well, I need to travel a little bit, but you know what, that's fair. And dive! Well, I wonder where I'm supposed to go from here. If only there was some way to tell where the game wants me to go.
Look! Those are materials that we can use for the crown, right? Let's get some for Freminet.
On it.
These should be enough. I knew you'd have a knack for finding the best materials. We shouldn't need anything else to head to the Kingdom of Water Imps.
Might as well take an ability with me.
Is that the entrance to the underwater ruins ahead?
Not even using already existing ruins, but instead choosing to use one of these magical door thingies. Actually, this is the first time, I think this is the first time we've seen one of these doors without the stairs leading up to it. Which makes sense, I mean, if it's underwater it doesn't need stairs, but still. Assaulting the Water Imp Kingdom. The beautiful kingdom of Water Imps is at hand. Warriors, together with Prince Thalxi, reclaim it from the monsters occupying it. Go to challenge. I will use my standard team, which means you, and you. Alright, let's go. Shouldn't be too hard. I mean, stuff that is connected to actual plot is never that hard.
So these are the underwater ruins that Freminet found. They're pretty amazing, but still not exactly the kind that Paimon was imagining.
This is the Kingdom of Water Imps, Paimon, not ruins.
Oh, yeah, Paimon knows. It's just... Paimon thought we'd actually see a fairy tale world. Like with the water imps' colorful houses and the rainbow bridge.
Well, the Rainbow Bridge was destroyed.
I'm sorry. I was hoping to put up some decorations, but ran out of time to do it by myself.
It's okay. It's fantasy time now.
Whoa, someone's already switched into fantasy mode.
Seems like the travelers already got the gist of things. You should do your best too, Paimon.
Alright, let's get in character and do this
Don't
shit.
underestimate Paimon. Paimon can flip the switch too. Now entering Paimon fantasy mode. Ahem. Young adventurers, 'tis Paimon, guardian goddess of this land. State your goals and intentions for visiting this nation.
You know this nation is overrun with monsters right
We
now,
are the
so not a very
companions
good
of Prince Falcon, Your
guardian.
Divine Highness. We have come to help him reclaim the glory that he has lost.
Oh, reclaiming your glory. Thy goddess here has golden glory, silver glory, and bronze glory. Which is it that the prince has lost?
Huh?
Did you break character, Paimon?
Not at all! This is the goddess's test! Ahem. From your responses, the goddess has concluded that you're all brave adventurers without the taint of greed in your hearts. As
Sure,
such,
okay,
You
sure.
are worthy of everyone's respect. So please accept the goddess's reward. The goddess will now bestow all 3 types of glory upon you. And
Sure.
as for this prince, the goddess will also bestow
Still hoping
upon
that
you
Paimon
the
will not be
rainbow
evil in the end,
glory,
imagine.
so your future will
Too much
always
into
be filled
character.
with light.
True, probably too much into character. Only to then break character the second
My
we asked her if
gratitude
she
to your
broke
Divine
character.
Highness for such generous blessings. Power is now surging through every part of my body.
Me too. Is this the divine inspiration of legend?
All thanks to the power of Goddess Paimon. Honestly, they can't make Paimon turn out to be evil in the end. If they did that, then who would keep appearing on the pause menu after the story concludes? Paimon's kinda like Nahina, she was made by unknown god, doesn't remember anything. Again, who knows? We'll have to wait and see how the story plays out.
Ahem.
For now, though,
Now,
we're busy with
adventurer,
this part.
Forge bravely ahead and defeat the monsters that have taken over the kingdom. You will be sure to find that which you seek.
Well then. Let's get schmoving. Excuse me, you can't just make enemies attack me and then throw me in the tutorial screen. Alright, use Prince Thelxie's Water Imp's Chanson to defeat opponents more easily. After using the skill, Thelxie must charge up before being able to use it again. Alright. Let's do it.
Be careful, brave adventurers. Just ahead are some
Also, we have Freminet on the team as well.
kingdom of water imps. They're called healing churls of the deep.
Damn, Paimon, you almost broke character there because you couldn't think of something. Is that really it?
Those accursed enemies are back again.
Oh, there is more.
Your Highness, please show them what you're made of.
Alright, your highness, do it. Nicely done. Yeah, there's more, but they're still
By
weak.
royal decree.
Next wave?
We're under attack again. It's a
Do it!
Larger of the deep.
There's no need
Your
to
Highness,
fear, my friends.
do it now!
His Highness is so strong now that even a diviniture of the deep would pose no threat to him.
Alright, now that you're stupid. Diviniture. Excuse me, they have to come up with cool names here. It can't just be a regular old enemy, it has to be a divine enemy. Alright, and that, just like that we did it. I didn't even use Freminet.
So have we defeated the evil monsters and reclaimed the kingdom of water imps?
Yes, it should now be time for us to attend Thuxie's coronation ceremony.
True Hilitrolls and the divine
The
are
only
kind
thing
of at
is,
odds with
I
each
didn't
other, aren't
expect this
they?
to go so smoothly.
Yeah,
Thought
their
it would have
whole
taken
curse
longer for us
thingy.
to reach the heart of the ruins.
Tragic,
It
truly
was my
tragic.
mistake. I should have told Freminet
But we
earlier
still
that
killed
would
him
also need a
nonetheless.
crown.
It's all because the Traveler and Goddess Paimon were too strong. We just eradicated all the monsters in one go.
It's
Yeah,
okay,
because Goddess
Surya.
Paimon did so much
We can come
fighting.
back again once I've made the crown.
Then I must thank all of you again for taking the time, and you too, Thuxie, my child.
Stop attacking innocent people. True, true. But maybe that's a side effect of the curse, like their mind deteriorating, so they don't really,
Turning out to be
you
a
know,
real
have
expert at
those higher
fighting.
brain functions anymore where they could decide not to
I
attack.
don't think there's
Isn't that a
anything
thing
that
as
will
well?
be able to stop him. He's like a true prince now.
Yes, I agree as well.
Also, really, Star? Really?
Let's head back to camp for now.
Yes, this is
I
totally
asked the
Fortnite.
traveler
Don't
to
you see
search
all
for
the
some
guns?
materials on the way because I want to make
Where
the
you
crown
dropping?
as soon as possible.
We can add an update to Thuxie's fantastic adventures as well. Now that
Ooh,
we've
yes,
reclaimed
new
the
page.
kingdom of
Let's see
water
it.
imps, it's time for us to draw some new scenes in the picture book.
Let's see the new shiz.
Zuria and Freminet, why don't we draw the new pages first? Paimon really wants to update the picture book.
You just want to see someone draw Goddess Paimon. How you doing? Pretty well, I would say.
Hey, you didn't have to say it out loud.
Rand got a gun. And a bunch of opponents have guns.
No problem. I'm happy to oblige. Then in that case,
Specifically the
story
pyro
today
for Tui
should go something
guys.
like this.
And some of the
After overcoming
mechs.
many obstacles,
Also, hello,
Prince
Avanoth.
Thelxie and his brave companions finally arrived at the entrance to the kingdom
Again,
of water
claims to not
imps.
be able to draw well,
This
draws
time,
this.
The little fairy in the group, Paimon, revealed her true goddess form to her companions.
Woohoo! The goddess has arrived! She praised the companions for their purity, and to reward them, she bestowed upon them many blessings, and even prayed that the prince would be able to fulfill his goal.
Bathed under the goddess's glory, the prince and his companions charged into the bastion of evil, chased away the monsters, and rescued the
Which
pretty
is
water
awesome.
imps from their imprisonment. The prince finally managed to reclaim his kingdom, but as for the crown,
Oh no, the crown isn't ready yet!
No.
The search must go
The
on.
crown was within the prince's reach, but the monsters took it with them as they fled. They haven't given up and are sure to return, but the prince is certain to reclaim the crown the next time they fight.
Alright.
Brilliant rainbow shall descend onto the kingdom once more.
Oh, and Paimon can almost see it all happening now! Whoa, the pages are beautiful! Zuria's
Armed to the
really
teeth
talented
with-
at drawing.
Annoying
Thank you,
orange
everyone.
thumbnails.
we've
Why?
also completed the second page of
Why
the picture book
that?
now. Thelxie's journey is one step closer to its end, and the promised coronation. My child, you'll also be able to brighten up when that time comes.
Yeah, when that
right?
time comes very soon, because there's no way that this is the end of this act already. We just started this act.
He will, Zuria. Who knows? Perhaps the doctor will already have some good news for you when you get back home today.
Part 2 is
I
like,
sure hope so,
it has
Your
only
Divine
just begun.
Highness. Oh, Freminet, about the time you'll need for the crown.
Please don't worry. One day should be more than
Yeah, I
enough.
know you said it's very short, but
Then
the
I must
first
thank
part
you
took
for
us
your
like
hard work.
50 minutes. This part took
Alright,
us like
let's rendezvous here
about
in another
20
2 days'
minutes.
time for our final adventure. Okay?
So this is a lot shorter. Alright, sounds good to me.
And see you in 2 days, my lovely friends.
They really didn't balance out the parts very well. Maybe part 3 is gonna be 2 hours long. Who knows? We're really focusing on
Alright,
her for a
it's
long
about time
time
we start
there.
heading off too. You've still got some work to do, right, Freminet?
Yeah. I'll need to go to the city shortly to get some
She be
parts
walking
for the base
indeed.
of the crown. I want to try out a few different designs and choose the one that looks the best.
It's a mimetic hazard. Clinging to your mind. Why have you obtained such dangerous weaponry? See you in a bit then, Spinne. Freminet's really dedicated.
Yeah. Paimon knew that you didn't often take commissions from others, but Paimon had no idea you'd be so dedicated once you're on the job.
Well, that was a quick BRB.
Well, about that, it might be because...
Because?
Because what?
It's because... I hope...
You hope?
What's the matter? And what's with that look on your face? You're turning red. And
Cue
it
him
looks like you're about
putting
to
the
run
helmet
away
on
and put
again.
your helmet on again.
Yeah.
Am I turning red?
Don't tease Freminet, Paimon.
All right. We won't bother you anymore for today, Freminet. Let's see each other in 2 days' time.
Alright, let's get ready for
Okay.
another time skip then.
Thank you. See you in 2 days.
See ya. He did put the helmet back
I
on.
hope that everyone who's found themselves in a dark place would be able to see something beautiful and experience a miracle for themselves.
Part 2 complete. Most harmless way of trolling. It's terrifying. I hope you won't terrify us too much with that. Alright, I'm gonna take a few steps away again. And now I have to wait for 2 days. 1, 2. Alright, everyone's favorite part of Genshin Impact, the waiting game, begins again. Isn't it fun? Isn't it lovely? Isn't it what everybody wants? It sure is, isn't it? Alright, and with that, we're ready to begin the final part of this event. Let's go.
Today's the final day of Velxie's fantastic adventures. Let's go find Freminet at his camp.
Already on it, Paimon. I never left.
Hey, Freminet, Velxie, we're here.
Okay,
Hello,
what are we up
Paimon.
to today?
Hello,
We're taking
traveler.
back the crown. Is it in the same domain? I would assume it
the crown
is.
ready?
Yes, we're just waiting for Zuria now. She hasn't arrived yet.
Then let's wait for her a little while. Or actually, maybe we can go find her. It's not too far from here anyway. Didn't she say she just lives on the hill over there?
You mean that one house
Hey,
you can see in the
traveler,
distance?
Paimon,
Oh, and speaking of,
found you two at long last. I'm so glad that you both are all right.
Well, okay. Hi,
you're here,
hello.
Miss Delaroche. And what could have happened to us?
What could have happened? That water imp Belxie, of course. After I gave you that commission the other day, I began
The
to
other
get
day,
worried and
at
went
least 4
asking
days
about
ago,
the boy
sure.
that went missing.
Oh, that? We've got it all figured out now. The boy you heard about was just Freminet. Even the missing fish was his fault. Don't worry, we'll help you get the fish back as soon as we're done with this job.
Oh, sorry about that. I've been
Specimen
diving in the
9.
area recently.
Enough read yet? Specimen
diving?
9. Dear God,
no,
not
no,
that
no,
one.
that's
Spooky.
not what happened at all. I've heard a completely different account.
What?
What I was
How
told
different?
is that about a month ago, a child tied a bunch of heavy seashells onto his body and walked into this open stretch of water. He never came back. What could that be if not that water imp's work?
Are you sure?
100% sure. I've confirmed the account with several veteran fishermen I know. The child was only 8 years old. His name was Lescaut. Lescaut d'Estray.
Wait, let's go to Stray?
So...
Yeah, that's the name. They say the family took on the name after moving to the city from a place called Stray. Anyway, his
He
mother's
dead.
a pretty famous art dealer, while his father passed
That
away from
lady
an
is mourning her
accident many years
child.
ago.
And is trying to turn his
Well, naturally,
their
his
child's
mother was
story into a
devastated
happier
by the
ending.
incident and fell terribly ill. It's said that she left the court of Fontaine, and no one knows where she's gone.
It can't be, right? Lescaut d'Estray? Zuria d'Estray?
Yeah.
It must be some sort of a coincidence?
Seems like we need to pay a visit to the stray house.
I'm sorry, miss. We've got to go check on something right now.
So her child is already dead and she
I
wants
see.
to...
Well, you go on ahead. I just
That
came to
makes it
make
even
sure that
more
you're both
sad that
all
she
right.
when she started
Alright,
calling
then.
the robot her
Please
kid,
remember
right?
to take care.
Because it was like her kid identified as Thelxie, and now that we've made a robotic Thelxie, again, it could have just been her playing the part of like, yeah, that is like the self-insert for my child, I should play along. But now I think it's pretty obvious that she felt a little bit more serious about that than we might have thought. Oh dear God, no. So, hey. Anyone home?
Excuse us. Is anyone here? Is this Madame d'Estray's place?
Who are you? I have a patient here who needs quiet bed rest. Please leave us be unless you have anything urgent to report.
Who is the patient? The door opens after a brief moment of silence. A man walks out with a confused look on
This
his
is the
eye,
residence
on
of
his
Zuria
face.
d'Estray, and I am Jala Khan, her family doctor. What did you mean by your question just now? Who else could be my patient?
Your patient should be Zuria's son, right? She told us herself that her son had contracted loneliness syndrome.
No, you're right. Young Master Lescaut did have that illness once upon a time, but he's... Well, the young master's no
Yeah,
longer
she
with us.
crazy.
And now the Madame has come down with the same illness. Are you...
So she's
her
lost in
friends,
her
by any
endless
chance?
delusions now. You inform the doctor of all that's happening the past few days between some breaks of silence.
So, when she had requested time to go out over the past few days, it was so she could spend them with you.
So, if I'm understanding this right, the one who's suffering from uncontrollable delusions is the Madame herself? She believes her son is still alive?
That is correct. When the young master disappeared, she was organizing an art exhibit that she had specifically prepared for him. But since she had to leave the house, she was unable to see her son one last time. That might have been the trigger for her regret. Or perhaps
Cure
the
me,
family's fall
please.
into loneliness and grief was inevitable as soon as the old master passed away.
If only we could.
First the son, and then the mother.
But how could that be? She really looked like she had a handle on everything. Her smile was so lovely, and she even told us to stay optimistic. But you're saying she...
Those
She
actions
crazy.
are proof that she can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality.
Then, all the other things that she told us about her son, were those fake too?
No, those were all real. Although, they were all things that happened before the young master left us for good. Madame's time has just never moved forward since his passing.
I see. So after her son left, she created a fantasy world where her son was still with her. She was looking for a way to cure his illness when she ran into us.
So how is Zuria now? And perhaps, you know what, perhaps completing this little objective will help her a little bit, who knows? I feel like at this point we have to go through with it for her sake, even if her son is no longer there.
She has been in a good mood the past few days, even humming a song when she returned from her stroll. She even began discussing with me the idea of using deliberate guidance to ease the illness. It was all going well, until last night. She spent a whole night staring at the shell the young master left behind, and the words that he had inscribed onto it. Then she broke down once more. I prescribed some sedatives, and she's currently resting.
Oh boy.
But then what should we do? How can we help her? There has to be something we can do.
We complete the story.
Don't panic, Paimon. Even though this is a devastating piece of news, we must all calm down first. What should we do? I need to think. I need to remember the old house of the hearth and the children who lived in it. Those patients and what their doctors said back then.
He added another word. The dialogue box just says, and what the doctor said then, not
Dr.
back
Jacques
then.
Lacan, have you
Oh
seen
my
the
god,
picture?
inconsistencies.
Madame should have brought it back with her.
Are you thinking about trying the guidance therapy she talked to me about before? Well, it's worth a shot. I'll go get the book.
You know, at least she's obsessed with curing the same illness she has. The doctor quickly receives the book
Yes.
and hands it to Freminet.
This is it.
Again, the fact that she's obsessed with curing this illness because she thinks her son still has it, but in reality she has it, you know, she's helping cure herself in a way. We still need to finish the adventure and the picture book.
That's right. If what Dr. Jean Lacan said was true, the past few days have been very helpful to Zuria, so we should complete this journey. We need to show her that her child has found a happy ending in the world of her dreams.
But wouldn't that just make it harder for her to accept reality?
What, harder because it's happy?
One must first face reality before accepting it. The Madame has been crushed by her feelings of grief and can no longer bring herself
Sounds like
to
win-win
face
then.
reality.
Yeah.
Our first priority would be to get her out of this
We need to
state.
finish this picture book
Right.
for her sake.
Before today, I had thought she wanted to use
Let's
Thelxie's
do this.
fantastic adventures to save her son. But now, I think she might need it to save herself. And
Alright,
if
so
we
where's
can
the fight for the
complete it,
crown gonna be?
we should be able to give her some feeling of inspiration and closure. Maybe those feelings would be enough to give her some courage to face reality again.
We'll have to give it a try.
There's no time to waste. Let's set off right away.
And then part 3 title screen, right? Where is it? Oh no! Did we already have the part 3 screen earlier? Well, let's go. Let's go back. Let's fight for the crown. Again. Coming in with the lyrics, huh? Totally not Five Nights at Freddy's related there. Alright. Same team because this team always works. Alright, we're going in.
We're here again. This is the final
What do you mean? Thelxie is here.
Everyone, please don't be so down and gloomy. Remember what she told us? If we were to feel troubled, the patient would become anxious as well.
You're right. Paimon needs to smile. If we have to give something to Zuria, it
You are
should be
thematic
our
about it,
smiles.
it's true,
We
I'm
have
not
to keep
denying that.
smiling as we finish this adventure. And then she'll be able to recover, right, everyone?
Yeah, I am sure she will.
Yeah, I'm sure she will.
That's what I just said, Freminet.
Be careful, brave adventurers. Here come the evil monsters that stole the crown. They're... the deep-sea Cyclops. Let's beat them up.
Yeah, already way ahead of you, Paimon. I'll kill this one myself. And once this one is gone...
Watch out, everyone! They're coming at us again!
There's no need to...
No!
Prince Milton looks stronger than ever today. We must be going all out.
And there we go, that's the big one.
Final enemy, right? We'll reclaim the crown for you now, Your Highness.
Paimon, again, you almost broke character there, but sure. You don't question things, you just go along with it. If you were wrong and it wasn't the final enemy, you could also play off of that.
Oh, it's revealed.
There we go. All enemies have been defeated and we have reclaimed the crown.
I'm sorry. I have to go. I made a promise to my friends and I'm already very late.
But Madame, you're still...
No, we're on our way back
Don't
right
try
now.
to stop me. Today's the most important day for treating Thelxie. We'll use the guidance method. Didn't you also say that you'd think it'd work?
I'm not trying to stop you, Madame. It's just... Could you tell me the name of your child?
Dr. Jalacan.
Morris,
How
good
can
luck.
you forget the name of your own
Again, you
patient?
know I don't.
His
I said
name
before
is
I
Thelxie.
don't know
He's
Morse.
the prince of the kingdom of water imps.
And
We
she's
will go
fully
today to
accepted that
reclaim his
name
crown
now.
and attend his coronation
She's fully
ceremony.
accepted that fantasy name as her child's name now.
Madame,
Oh boy.
please rest assured, everything is still on schedule. Your friends have already departed to find... Wait, look. They've already returned.
Zuria! Zuria! We've retrieved the crown!
Paimon, everyone, have you really?
It was a
Yes,
very
But
harsh
the
fight.
coronation ceremony still hasn't taken place, because we felt like you should be the one to preside over it.
Wonderful, how wonderful! Thelxie, my child, are
Ah,
you hearing
this hurts.
Everything you lost will now come back to you, and soon, very soon, you will never be lonely
But you won't be able to
again.
keep Thelxie because I'm pretty sure I will get Thelxie by the end of this.
And the last page of the picture book. It's still waiting for you to illustrate in color.
Right, the picture book. But I don't know what I should put on the last page.
Well, the ceremony probably, right?
Thelxie and his friends all know what should go on it. Get ready, Zuria. We'll describe everything for you.
Okay.
At last, Thelxie and his friends were able to drive off the final invading monsters and achieve a dashing victory.
Of course,
Their
naturally.
success was complete, and the recovered crown resplendent.
It is sad.
The water imps, finally returning to their homes,
But
showered the prince
we
with
really can
love
just
and
hope that this
applause
gives
as
her
he
some
greeted
level of
them.
closure.
They
Because she
once
really
again
needs
offered
it.
their precious shells to the prince and reconstructed the rainbow bridge of old. As he watched the scene unfold, the prince could not help but be touched by its beauty.
Moved by everyone's happiness, the prince stepped onto the
Rainbow
Bridge
Castle indeed.
and took a good look at all the who had gone
I mean, come
on the
on.
journey with him. There
This
stood the traveler,
this must be good
goddess
closure in a way,
Paimon,
right?
Freminet, and... Huh? Where's the last person?
At least
The
now in
prince
her
looked
mind, her child
frantically
will have had a
around,
happy
but
ending
could not find the person he
to
wanted
their
to see
story.
most. At that moment, the person suddenly appeared on the other side of the bridge. She walked towards him with a smile and slowly lifted her veil.
The prince could not hold back his tears. He recognized then that the mysterious person that had been by his side the whole time was none other than his mother. Surya walked across the bridge and placed the crown above the prince's head. She smiled down upon him as she said, "My prince, my king, you shall never, ever need to feel lonely again."
That's the end of the story, Zarya.
Thank you. Thank you all. I am so sorry, my child. Maman should have spent more time with you. Did you hear the story? You'll never have to feel lonely again.
Oh, that is, again, they really succeed in making these stories emotional. And it is also sad that future Genshin players will never be able to experience this story.
Maman loves you too.
What's happening? Is Zarya talking to Thelxie?
Emotional damage indeed. What is Thelxie saying?
Quick, put on my diving helmet. There's a transcription module in it that's compatible with Thelxie's output signals. You should be able to use it to understand what Thelxie's saying.
I get helmet. Freminet walks up to you and pulls out his diving helmet before placing it on your head. Took a moment, but we have actual text here. So that's what Thelxie is saying. Just one final "I love you" from a son to their mother. Why make temporary content? Good question. And let's not forget that a lot of temporary content that they make in Genshin also has amazingly animated cutscenes that also only show up during that one-time event. At least this one doesn't appear to have any cutscenes, but they have this nice picture book. And of course the story.
Maman loves you too.
But I love you more, Maman.
Wait, what is this?
What? Did you see something?
No, I must be imagining things.
Getting a little sleepy. If it's time for bed, can you hum a lullaby to me again?
Of course, my dearest child.
Oh great, now I'm the
As
one
long as you
experiencing
want to hear
delusions,
it.
huh?
Maman will always
I am the
come for
next
you.
patient, please and thank you. It's a delusion.
Thank you, Maman.
Oh
Your lullaby
boy.
has always been my favorite. Now that I've heard it, I can return to my dream and to the kingdom of water imps in peace.
My poor darling. Please don't forget.
I'm not sure if we're seeing her
will
hallucination or if it's
always
somehow
love you.
actually her child's spirit that's
My
here
love
talking to her.
is
Because you can't forget, this is
greater
after all a
than the
fantasy world where
entire
magic
distance
exists.
between here
In fact, we've even
and
seen
the
ghosts
kingdom of
before.
water imps.
So this might actually be a case where her delusions are actually more real than we might
So is
imagine.
my love for you greater than the entire distance between here and the kingdom of water imps. Good night.
Freminet isn't seeing this? Yeah, because we're wearing his helmet. Maybe his helmet somehow has magical powers here. Ah. Three days later, at Freminet's camp, a world join request happened.
Traveler, Paimon, you're here.
It's Child. He showed up out of nowhere.
Did you hear something from Zuria? Oh, if it's not good news, Paimon doesn't want to hear it.
Impact at the end of time.
Don't worry, it's definitely great news. The Madame came here for a visit just now with her doctor. Color has returned to her cheeks, and she sounded full of energy as well.
So we did help her.
She said she'd like to return to the court to continue hosting the art exhibit. But this time, she'll work with her doctor to exhibit some picture books related to the illness. Of course,
Her hugging the mechanical
Galaxy's
penguin.
fantastic adventures and the guidance therapy
Should have
will
done
be
that, they
included
really
in the
should have.
exhibit as well. She'd like to use her experience to help others.
That's wonderful. So it wasn't bad news after all.
Here, please take this picture book with you. The Madame wanted you to have it. If at some point in the future you were to run into someone with similar troubles, she hopes the book would be of use to you.
I guess we'll take it.
But this is her son's story, right? Is it really okay to give the book to us?
We were also
Don't worry,
participants in the story.
It's just a copy. She still has the original.
Yeah, that makes
It's
sense as
extremely
well.
important to her.
Alright, then there's no problem. It feels good knowing we've contributed to something important. Paimon definitely didn't expect the fantasy adventure to be so useful. Paimon was a little worried about how everything would turn out. After all, fantasy is just fantasy.
They said in a fantasy
Paimon.
world.
Do you know what the Madame said? She said that at the moment when she placed the crown on Thelxie's head, she felt like she really saw something beautiful. Her child had returned, and he told her that
Yeah,
he
we
loved
saw
her.
that too. We kind of
She
saw.
also said that was when she was finally able to bid farewell to her son. She felt like at that moment, she was healed by some mystical power, and she was filled with courage from head
Spooky's
to
House of
toe.
Jump Scares, the game formerly known as Spooky's House of Jump Scares, now known as Spooky's Jump Scare
Part
Mansion.
of her fantasy?
Yes, I have played it.
Perhaps.
In fact, I even played
Well,
the
fantasy
Endless.
is just
I even played
fantasy.
some of it on stream.
And the fantasy world is not
Specifically the
real.
Dollhouse
Then
DLC.
how could it still grant us these powers that
And
we
I'm
can
pretty sure I
continue
tried to do a little
use
bit of
in
Endless
the
on
real
stream
world?
before as well. But that was a while back. But yeah, it's a very nice game. Was it called Spooky's House of Jump? It was originally called Spooky's House of Jump Scares before being renamed to Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion because someone wanted to take them to court because of the name. Because someone was like, Spooky's House of Jump Scares sounds too similar to Spooky House of Jump Scares, which is something that I have made. I will take them to court. And so they were like, damn, let's rename it to Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. And so they did. In fact, if you still play the regular version, like the non-HD remaster version, you can actually see the original title and how there's tape over it. Like, you can see it still has the Spooky's House of Jump Scares title, and there's tape over it where it corrects it to Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion instead of Spooky's House of Jump Scares. So, yeah. So perhaps fantasy is not just fantasy after all.
But what else could it be?
A descent of the fairy tale world into the real world. At that time, the wondrous fairy tale temporarily became reality and influenced real things in our world. That has to be what happened.
Whatever you say,
You saw
Freminet.
it too, didn't you?
I mean, I did.
That can't be what happened, right? There's just no way. Wouldn't it
Again,
be like a miracle if that really
ghosts
happened?
are a thing that
Yes.
exists in this world.
I suppose that would be a miracle. I hope that everyone who's found themselves in a dark place would be able to see something beautiful. and experience a miracle for themselves.
And that's the end, huh? Miraculous Crown, quest completed. I gotta do something real quick. Commissions are done! Yay! Alright. And with that, just confirming. Yep, it is done. And we still have over an hour left. You know, that is definitely not gonna be enough time to complete Furina's story quest. However, I'm gonna get it started anyway, because I feel like it. And we can complete it whenever the fuck we want. Alright, Furina. Unlock. Accept quest. The little ocean it. To yesterday. I wonder, because I'm pretty sure Furina didn't have a vision during the story. But when you unlock her as a character, she does have one. Is her story quest a story about how she obtains her vision? So it would make sense that she obtains the vision somewhere in this quest line. Again, don't confirm or deny it. I'll see it for myself. She didn't obtain one in the Archon quest, exactly. So it must be in the story quest, I imagine. One day you and Paimon arrive at the Adventurers Guild to check out the commissions there. Alright, Furina. You may have dropped your title of a fake god, but you are gonna be a real adventurer now.
Hey, Catherine, it's us. Got any new commissions? Specifically one with a huge Moor attack, perhaps?
You don't have to be so direct.
Paimon's just being enthusiastic. We're old friends now, she gets it.
I mean, fair.
It's always a pleasure to see our two most avid adventurers again. Looking for the next challenge, I see.
Always.
Actually, we do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open. Having read the details, however, I don't believe you'd consider it to be lucrative.
I have a lot of money anyway.
Don't worry about that. We were just kidding. So what's the situation?
To put it simply, the requester is looking for a temporary replacement actress for their musical. The original cast member ran into some issues, and is currently unable to perform the role.
Furina's gonna
But the troupe has
perform,
also
I
been
imagine.
experiencing some
She could totally
financial
do that.
difficulties. So unfortunately, they cannot afford to pay
She
the
is a
replacement
performer.
actress.
She played the act of being a
That does
goddess
sound like
for
a
so
tricky
long, she can
situation.
act on a
So
stage
basically
too.
they're looking for a volunteer?
That's right. Our adventurers reached out to many actresses, but none of them were willing to take the job. There are only a few days left until the performance.
Now the question is, where
If
is
they can't find
Farina?
someone in time,
We haven't
they'll
seen her in a
probably have to
while.
postpone the show. And
Is that
delays
that? There
tend
we
to
go.
create all sorts of new problems.
The question is, where did
Got
she
it.
go after the
this
quest
one's
was over?
doozy. What do you think, Traveler? Any ideas?
I mean, I guess Nouvelette knows. He
Even if
said
we took
he'd
the commission,
would
neither
make
of
sure
us
that
have
she
any
doesn't lack
experience
shelter and
starring in
food.
musicals.
So Nouvelette would know where we can find her if we don't run into her by coincidence. Very true. She became a NEET, as one should. Embrace the NEET lifestyle.
If you're interested in helping, why not start by having a chat with the requester? He's right over there. Maybe you can't fill the role yourselves, but you might be able to help him figure out another solution. Maybe there's something he hasn't thought of.
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder. He looks like he just ate a sour lemon.
We'll go talk to him.
Paimon approves. Let's go.
It's such a long walk.
Hello there. Are you the guy looking for a new actress?
Wait, I know you two. Are you really willing to act in my musical?
No,
Sounds
we're
like you're pretty
trying
famous
to
in
help,
Fontaine
but
already.
not in that way.
But to answer your question, neither of us have any experience in musicals. But we heard that you're in a bit of a bind, so we figured we could at least try to help you think of a solution.
Ah, I see. It's okay. I knew that asking for a volunteer was a long shot.
Oh well,
If we
just you
can't
wait.
find
We'll
someone to
find
step in,
someone.
We'll have no choice but to cancel the show. It would be such a shame.
Can't you cover the budget for a new actress with ticket fees?
That's the thing. We're not some high-profile theater troupe, just a group of amateur enthusiasts.
And you're gonna have a former
All our sets
god,
and props are
well,
very
quote-unquote
crude.
god,
We're
acting
grateful
for your
enough just
show
to
in
get
a
an
second.
audience, never mind ticket fees. If we had a way to make this profitable, things might have turned out differently. But now, it looks inevitable that we'll disband.
Disband? You're splitting up the troupe?
Oh, I guess the lady at the Adventurers Guild didn't tell you? Yeah. This is supposed to be our final show together as a troupe.
Last minute is indeed a long
One
shot.
last show.
Yeah.
And after that, we go our separate ways. So we were really hoping to end on a high note. Nobody wants things to just...
All the songs and lines that
fizzle
have to
out.
memorize in a short
Not
time.
after all the time
Yeah,
and effort
very,
we've
very
invested into
true.
it.
The thing is, if anyone can do it, it's probably Furina. Again, Furina knows how to really, like, embrace a role, and she's acted before. Even before she spent 500 years acting out a single role, pretending to be a god. But yeah. True, it could be someone who already knows the story. If they know the story and the songs, then it would be a lot easier as well. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Catherine mentioned that one of your actresses can't make it.
Yeah. The leading lady, in fact.
Oh, it's
She's been
even
dealing with
worse.
a chronic illness ever since childhood.
Of course,
And
the lead is
unfortunately,
missing.
Flared up again recently. It really drains all her energy, so she's in no state to perform. The show just won't be the same without her. But for everyone else's sake, I still hope we can find a way to hold the performance on schedule.
Got it. We have a clearer
boy.
picture now. Let's see if we can come up with any ideas. What if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how much more are you
A
getting?
few million.
Please, there's no need to go that far. I wouldn't feel right asking such a huge favor. And I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
Mora isn't the biggest problem. How do we find someone who's a good fit for the role?
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the Mora, that's not exactly rescuing the show. We should find someone who will put on the best performance possible.
Did Paimon finally think of the person?
What about... you know who?
Great minds think alike. I was just thinking that.
That's how you know we're the best of partners. Anyway, she should have all the free time in the world right now. She's really good at performing, and she was once super popular with the crowd. Performing in a musical should be a piece of cake for her.
Studies extra people who learn main
Who are you
parts so they
thinking
can
of?
step in if this happens.
Sounds
Yeah.
like someone famous.
Yeah, you need someone to act as a replacement in case of emergencies, and they don't have anyone. Well, anyway, Furina!
Her? You're... That was a joke.
Yeah,
right?
the one who pretended to be a god and was put on trial.
I don't actually know if she's performed on stage before, but Paimon's pretty confident that she'd be really good at it.
You're not wrong there. She has actually performed in a number of big-name shows before. They were one of the reasons she was so popular. But even if she's no longer the Hydro Archon, it's not like she's suddenly a commoner. She's still an idol to many people in Fontaine, including myself. I just think Lady Furina might feel a bit out of place in an amateur troupe like ours.
Well, do you want a new actress or not? You want the show to go ahead, don't you?
Well, yes, but... Fair enough. I mean, if she was actually willing to, then of course I'd be honored to have Lady Furina star in our show. I'm sure the rest of the troupe would be delighted too. I'm sure everyone in our troupe has probably dreamt of performing on stage with her one day. Of course, it all depends on whether she's interested. She might consider this opportunity beneath her.
I don't know
No
about
point
that.
stressing about that.
We'll ask
We'll
her.
know if we ask her.
Since to
Besides,
shuffle the
things
parts
are
around,
different now. There's
who
no
already
reason for
mostly
her to
knows
be
the
all
lead
high and mighty
part.
anymore.
Need to replace the bit part. True, true. That would also be a way of managing this. But I mean, come on, we're talking about potentially getting their former goddess to act in a play for them. If she can't pull off the lead role, then I don't know who can. let's go. It'll be good to check in on her anyway.
Thank you for your help.
Again, we haven't
I
seen
guess
her
I'll
since
just
we
stay
put her
here
on
and wait
trial.
for the good news. Good luck.
Wait, where does Furina actually live nowadays? She used to live in luxury at the Palais Mermonia, but she's, moved out, right?
As it happens, I have her current address here. I can provide it to you.
Alright, that's nice. I was just gonna ask Nouvellette.
When did you get here?
I came over when things were starting to sound more promising. I thought I should be at the ready in case my assistance is needed.
Thank you,
It is my duty to
Catherine.
support commissioners in any way I can.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Well, now that we've got the address, we'll go find Furina. Back in a jiffy.
Little ocean it. Let's do this. Well, that's not too far away. So this is the place, huh?
Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here?
I mean, she's just a common person now. Ever since we
Not that
proved
there's
during the
anything
trial
wrong with
that
this
she
place,
isn't in fact a
just,
true god.
A bit of a step down from the Palais Mermonia.
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Hi, Furina.
Okay, when did popping out of thin air become all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags. I used to have a much wider range of
Oof.
choices when it came to food.
Oof, indeed.
But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too.
True, she is half of the god, but she's specifically the half of the god that doesn't have powers. And the half of this god who did have the powers got executed. So, yeah. Got some legs? Of course she do. Why wouldn't she? I guess. Don't you get sick of macaroni every day? No. No such thing as getting sick of it. More macaroni for Furina.
Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week, macaroni and bolognese the next.
Oh,
It is
someone's
inspired
really
by,
struggling to
by
cope.
France, yes. Is it because you have to do all your own cooking now?
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity! It's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house. So I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little simpler now too. Besides, I'm sure I could
Macaroni and
master
bolognese sounds
dishes like
delicious.
the lettre focilor
Again.
or blubber profiteroles in
Eating,
no
but
time,
eating nothing
if
but
I felt so
macaroni
inclined.
constantly? I don't
There
know.
it is. You don't know
Then
how to
again, if
cook.
she's happy with it.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace. Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time.
But why
So
not?
if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way.
At least she can cook, unlike A. Oh, called out. She can at the very least make macaroni. She can make macaroni, but that's it. A can't make anything. Paimon was just showing concern for your well-being.
Yeah, exactly what the traveler said. Paimon wasn't trying to make fun of you.
But you did.
Hang on a sec, you weren't exactly holding back either.
His legs, I just mean. Those are surprisingly short shorts. At least compared to everyone else. I mean, there are other characters who also have very short shorts. But yeah, she's definitely one of the ones who's going as short as possible. And yeah, as far as I can tell, here she also still doesn't have the vision. So either we don't see how she obtains the vision, or it has to be at some point during the story quest. We actually came here to ask you for your help.
My help? Well, You're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision, you know.
But you look like an important character. It's only a matter of time until you get a vision. In fact, I know you get a vision because I have you as a playable character, and you have a vision as a playable character. You're the only person for the job.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about your attitude just now. So tell me, what specifically makes this matter so specific?
You tell Furina about the troops' plans for its final
I
performance.
see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense. After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well versed in all the various performing arts. A mere musical is well within my capabilities.
Great, then you better learn the lines quickly.
But given the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully decline your casting request.
This would be a breeze for you.
Do you just not feel confident
True,
in stepping
but
out in
I
front of
have
multiple
made
people
a
again?
decision to retire from the stage.
Oh, come
Although
on.
I am no longer required
The attitude
to
of a
play
diva? Well,
the
she
role
was
of the
pretending to be
Hydro
a god
Archon.
for a very long
The
time.
time I
She has
spent
embraced the
inhabiting that
role of being
character
high and
has
mighty.
left an indelible mark on me. Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm not the same person I once was. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
So that's how you really feel. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Again, being forced to act a role for 500 years, not being allowed to let your true self slip out even once. Yeah, that's gonna change your perspective on playing a part.
Paimon can understand, but this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Whether it's a one-off or not, it's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross. If I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary in the first place.
You know what? Gotta respect
So
it.
I'm not going to perform, and that is that.
And as much as we respect it, we're
Okay,
probably gonna
guess
make her
there's no
perform
convincing
anyway in
you.
some way.
Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any fanfare. Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Express your boundaries. Yeah, at least, you know what? It's
Sure,
fair.
To the point. Okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with probably couldn't wait to get rid of me.
Wow.
Since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for help.
Wow, that is some self-depreciation if I've ever heard it. Oh yeah, I am no longer a literal god. Now everyone will hate me. You shouldn't assume the worst of people.
True, but I mean, could you even blame them? I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for? Ooh, no way. I'm dying from embarrassment just thinking about it. Nope, not happening.
Well, is there anything else we can do?
There are at least
This
100k
really
people.
means a lot to the
I
guy
mean,
we're working
it's not wrong. Again, that one person
Have I not
definitely
made
seems
myself
to still
clear?
respect her.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who would. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really.
For the
But
lead
if I
role?
thought I had the
Yeah.
answer to this
No
problem,
payment,
I would
lead
have
role,
said so by now.
go.
It's all right, Furina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed.
Let's try to come up with a plan B.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right then, we'll see you around, Furina.
Toodaloo to you too. I'm going home to
Paying
take a
her
rest.
an exposure. Imagine offering to pay their former god in exposure. Like she needs it. Absolutely. If anyone needs exposure, it's her.
It's too bad, but we have to respect Furina's decision. Maybe the thought of performing brings up too many painful memories now.
That it do.
Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
Curious.
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take a step back?
Wait, what?
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness, even when it's clearly flaring up.
So she didn't even say
And
that she
gives you
wasn't
the
gonna
right
be
to make a
playing.
decision on my behalf?
Okay.
Shortly after you left, the troop's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform. Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has returned.
Why
Sorry,
did you
I
look
was
so
just dealing
desperately
with a
for
little
people
misunderstanding.
when she was healthy enough to perform?
So, how did your conversation with Furina go?
Not well.
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role for personal reasons.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad news after all. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging
Well,
the musical
great.
with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right. Sounds like everything worked itself out then.
And that's the end of the story quest, imagine. Imagine if we had managed to convince Furina to join, only for her to find out she's no longer needed.
Yeah,
Ooh boy.
she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so harsh with people?
Well, she can be.
Joking, calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed now, huh? Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with
We
you
still
about
have to
this
check
anymore.
up on Furina
You've
again.
made yourself very clear, so I'll stop looking for a replacement. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you.
It really did just complete
So,
itself.
Are you absolutely sure you'll
But
be
this
able
is
to
the
handle it?
Furina story
The
quest.
whole
It
team
can't
is
be
putting
that
everything
short.
they
We
have
know
into this final
that.
performance. We have to make sure it goes ahead.
We need to find out how
Yes,
she gets
I'm
her vision.
completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day. I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. So the last thing I want is to be left out. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
True, imagine being
You're
not
right.
included in the farewell
sorry.
show. That would actually
I let
suck
myself
very
get too
badly.
worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on.
Paimon, wait here a second. What, is Furina watching?
Sure.
Is Furina watching from the side? She is watching from the sidelines.
Hey, how did you... I
Well,
was just
well,
passing by
well.
because I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list.
Let's have understudies in future shows. Well, it is their
Alright,
final
alright,
show
I'm coming.
together.
No need to drag me.
So it's not like he needs to learn for future shows.
Ahem.
Not unprotected
Oh,
hand-holding, they
one
have
and
gloves.
I couldn't help but overhear your conversation just now.
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned, that's all. When you came to talk
of
with me
course.
earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about how it went down.
Look
I'm
at
sorry,
you.
Paimon.
Well, anyway, the situation resolved itself, so, yeah.
Fine.
See you in a
I
bit
didn't
then,
take any
Spinner.
of that personally.
Then why didn't you just show yourself?
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you?
Yes.
I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Furina star in our show?
Well, how about being worthy of
There's
having
no
her in the
need to
audience?
think like that. And no need to keep addressing me as lady. Just Furina is fine.
Are you gonna watch the show,
I was
Furina?
wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband? If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance.
Just
Everyone seems so
Furina.
devoted to
Oh
each
god,
other.
no.
I'm sure if you
Just
keep chipping
Furina
away,
is fine.
you'll
It is
find a
not
way through.
fine.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's
Welcome
been
back,
going
Spinner.
downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe. She kept us going.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the
Just
artistic
Ayaka?
director of our troupe.
Yes, I do.
And tragically, she was a victim in the serial disappearances case.
Oh. Oh. So we're
That's
bringing
actually
that
how I
case up
recognized
again.
these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But
Yeah, the
still,
serial disappearances
no
really were no
sentence can
fun,
bring
were
our
they?
director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life, and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage, and mentored each and every one of us.
Days.
People
Funny
loved our
glitch.
performances
I
back
think,
then.
yeah, I remember
We seemed to be going
hearing
from
about that. Yeah,
strength
but
to
yeah,
strength.
fun. Very fun.
Things were really looking up for us.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray.
I can imagine
None
that.
of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing the best we can, but despite our efforts,
So they
things are
need
slowly
someone
but
to
surely
take
falling
over
apart.
as director.
It's agonizing.
Is that what they're saying?
But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end and watch all our dreams turn to dust.
Oh.
That is indeed so sad.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. And then her life was so cruelly taken.
You know, at
I
least that
suppose
can't
it's fair
happen
to say,
again.
then, that
The
this
serial
final
disappearances
show,
case
besides being your farewell
cannot
to the
repeat
stage,
itself
is
now.
also your final gift for her?
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale, I can no longer stand by and do nothing.
Help from Furina?
Furina.
What you gonna do?
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan
Hey,
to cross the
I
boundary
see an
I've set
annoying
for
girl
myself.
running toward me from the
Besides,
distance,
they're
waving
no
her
longer
arms in
looking
the
for
air
a
like she's
replacement
totally
anyway.
oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself.
Yes, Rob.
That girl is Karumi, my neighbor and good friend since we were in Kanai, you know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today.
It's
But
the
it just
Kanai
kind of
word
works
twist
out
of
because
it.
you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to agency together on days like this, but start.
But start. It can do one more letter. It doesn't stop it on star. It actually does but start. The Kanai word twist of the classic opening line. Nice.
I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member. But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh, most
They would definitely appreciate
We'll
help
take
from
any guidance
Furina,
that
I
you
can
give.
imagine.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director.
Aww.
Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epicles.
Also,
is
maybe
that
teach her
there's
to
a
cook
lot
something
you
other
don't
than
see when you
macaroni.
observe everything from on high. The law only
She would probably
judges criminal
appreciate
behavior
that.
and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them?
A verdict can bring emotional catharsis. They come pouring out and flow away into infinity.
An interesting answer.
How long cooldown? I don't
But
remember
if you
exactly
ask
how
me,
long the cooldown is on
all
it.
emotion shall ultimately return
I think it might
home
be
to the
5
heart
minutes.
and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before, and so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh? You just want to get back in on the action, don't you?
I mean, come on.
No, this is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
Again, there's still some of that Archon energy in her.
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Well, since it's you, I'll do it.
Thank you all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances, as of course we all are. Alright, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space.
Hey,
Please
want to break
excuse
from the
size.
ads? Want to break from the
It's a little
adventures?
on the smaller side.
Alright. Where to? That's on the other side of town. I'm gonna teleport. Alright. This place? Alright, we're here. What's up? Huh. It is on the smaller side, but that's still a nice stage setup.
Furina? What's Lady Furina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Miss Furina will be supporting our production of The Little Oceanid in the role of artistic consultant.
Look at that.
These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no introduction.
Of course not, because I'm the main character.
The trial of the century.
Yeah, I'm the one who put her on trial, and now we're friends.
Justice. We can't thank you enough.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in.
I know
on
they're
the fun.
talking about the other trial, but still.
So, you were saying The Little Oceanid?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished
Little
script left
Mermaid?
behind by
No.
our director.
Yeah, I know they
One
mean
of
the
our
other
greatest
trial, but
regrets is that
still.
she never got to complete it.
It's literally
So,
what I said.
if we
I
can
just
bring it
said
to the
I know they
stage
mean
and
the
make it a
other trial,
successful
but
show,
still.
we can all take some solace in that.
Wait, but if it's not finished,
I assume you typed that message out before I said it because of the delay, but I definitely said it before that message came through. That I know. Yeah, delay. Delay is such a horrible thing, if only it didn't exist. Finding an actress was the least of your problems.
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front, trying to realize this dream. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of what the story's all about. The protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human form, despite the protests of her family. She longed to live just like any other human. And sure enough, she found friendship and even love. Everything seemed perfect.
Until the Fire
One
Nation
day,
attacked.
Her true identity was exposed.
Little Mermaid,
and her
basically.
world came crashing down
The twist.
around her.
so far, so good. A classic tale. What happened after that?
But mermaids apparently don't
That's one of
exist
the
in this
issues
world,
we've
so
been
they have
trying
to
to
do a
deal with.
twist on it.
Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script. We need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But people have different opinions on which direction to take it in.
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
And the story's true. Also, if the show is happening
By
this soon
true
and
to
you
life,
still haven't decided on the ending, what the hell are you
director's sudden
doing?
disappearance?
Yeah, like they say, truth is stranger than fiction. But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw pain onto the audience.
Yeah, they haven't settled on the
Exactly.
ending, but the performance is
A lot of the
apparently
time,
coming up
people
very
come to
soon.
watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment.
Wow.
We have to consider
They're
their
really
emotional
falling
stake in
apart.
this, not just our own. And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from two of our main actors. The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's
Memorize
passed,
the lines and songs and stuff.
we still
Maybe they
haven't heard from
memorize
him.
everything up until the
The
ending?
other is Villemont, who plays the
At
main
the very
antagonist.
least?
He took the director's death pretty hard. Hasn't set foot in the city since. He did write to us, promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since. So we're not really sure what to make of that.
Huh. Although, now that we have Miss Furina helping us, maybe we should take the opportunity to get everyone back together.
It would be
What
good to have
opportunity?
everyone here.
What do you mean?
Improvise the ending, make that up as they go
Maybe
along.
you're
That,
unaware,
that would be funny.
but your name has
Yes.
always been like a rallying
Have like a
cry for
proper
us.
play and then towards the end you
Our
turn it into
director
an
was
improv
constantly
session.
singing your praises. All of us look up to you as a role
Amazing, grand.
Oh, stop. You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way. I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues you've been facing. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Makes sense.
Half and try happy ending, other half try to go for a
Priority
sad
number one,
ending.
Let's check
The
in with
chaos,
Paulo and
yes.
see where he's at with the ending. He went back to Poisson a few days ago.
Oh,
Said that
stop.
staying in a friend's
Continue.
home might help him to
Continue more
relax and
praise.
escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago. But I guess
Yeah,
it's the
right, that
opposite.
flooding also
A friend in
happened.
need and all that.
Fun. So many dead people.
Company.
Poisson?
Yeah, that still hits hard for her. Oh, is something wrong? Is something wrong, we say. You do realize how hard it hit her when she heard about Poisson being flooded. It hit her so hard, she went there alone to cry, and then when she was in Poisson alone to cry over the deaths of her people, we came there and were like, hey, now that you're here crying, let me quickly kidnap you and put you on trial in court. Fun, right? And now we're bringing that up again. Is something wrong, we asked, completely oblivious.
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the show. So, allons-y. To Poisson!
Alright, we're going back. Unaware. Alright. Let's see if they fix this place up a little bit. Since the story concluded. Probably not. Yeah, the bridges are still very broken. I wonder if at some point these bridges and everything will be fixed.
If I remember correctly, This is where he's staying.
Alright.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
Well, and because we have
All right.
someone new helping.
Forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great news.
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of the script. I'll be out once I'm done.
No, we actually
Okay,
have
then.
great news.
Looking forward to your
We actually
masterpiece.
mean it when we say we have great news.
So, as expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the
When is it
chance
supposed
to
to
read
happen
through
again?
and make sure we agree on it.
Did they give us an exact date, or did they just say it was coming up
told
soon?
me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I
Oh,
assumed
hey,
it was a case
Navia.
of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Furina, too.
I think they just said it was.
I was
think they just said it
wondering if
was
we might
coming
run
up
into her.
soon. I don't think
So
they said
you're
how
here for
many days
Paolo?
exactly.
Looks like you could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll around town in the meantime. I've made all the arrangements already.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
And then it was just us.
How are things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
Yeah, a lot of people died here.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was something I could do.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do. And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said than done. Which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe.
Yeah, I
To
can
avoid upsetting
imagine.
the peace, I told
But
the
technically
townspeople
she
that
isn't the
everyone here is a
Hydro
member of the
Archon.
theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Furina. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Again, though,
Well,
she is
what do you
technically not the
expect?
Archon.
I am the
Wasn't
courageous
ever
and
the
considerate
Archon,
president
technically.
of Spina di Rosula, after all, like my father before me. Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Alright, got it, Navia. Thank you.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with, so maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have.
Yeah, sorry for putting you on trial. Promise I didn't mean it. Actually, I did mean it.
I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know if I was ready to meet her. It's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything. You can't get around the obstacles without facing them.
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not exactly a
I'd be
good
lying
spot
if
for
I said
her
I
to
wasn't
be.
scared of coming back here. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me.
Spinne.
But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of course, I completely understand and accept.
I'm sure some people didn't buy Navia's lie. At least that's what all these looks are telling me.
Yeah, I can tell people are watching me.
Oh, really? Can you tell?
I'm
What
sure
gives-
some
what gave it
people here
away?
see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment in their eyes. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this after all.
Objective survive. I guess we should
Surprised
probably
you've been here to
leave.
go through all of this.
Maybe you've taken on a bit too much in one go. Yeah, we should probably head out of here.
I can't let myself see
Make Furina
only the
survive no
things
matter
I
the
want to
cost.
see.
We should.
How would that make me any different from before?
Look, there seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
They're not staying quiet either. We really should leave.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there.
Sure. Sure. Let's do that. And hopefully not run into too many people, which is easy considering that a lot of the people that lived here were killed, so there's not as many people to run into anymore. But there's still quite a few.
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a different side of you.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet. I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be.
That's
As I
so,
stand
huh?
here by the ship,
Stand?
I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind.
I'm not so sure if you're standing here.
People were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant. They thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true.
And then it
But then the
wasn't.
floodwaters finally came.
Just yet continue
And
to
the
pour
Hydro
primordial
Archon
seawater on.
did nothing.
Where?
You shouldn't look at it like that. You were only doing your duty.
Don't be so harsh on yourself. Yeah! I mean, in the end, your commitment to the act made sure that everyone else would survive. Yeah, it sucks for a lot of the people here in Poisson. But let's face it, if she didn't play her part to perfection, then everyone in Fontaine would be dead now.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear, and I became more lonely and isolated. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone, weeping on my throne.
As the prophecy foretold.
We were able to avoid the worst case scenario thanks to the help of heroic individuals such as yourselves. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom. But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed. I have no further use to people.
I have no further use,
never
she
imagined
says
you'd
in a
see it
quest
that
that
way.
started with us asking for her help. Think of your freedom as your reward.
Reward?
Because now you can finally speak your heart, you don't have to be anguished and alone anymore.
I guess so.
You just
Back
should avoid
then,
the people
I
here
didn't even
specifically.
dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was. and exposing the secret I swore to protect.
Good
Believe
thing
in the
that you
Furina
just so
you see
happened
on
to,
stage. She
you
is
know,
the
meet
one
me
you can
during the
trust.
time where she could finally part with the secret.
I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself.
Of course,
No
all
one
these
could be
amazing
allowed to
developments happen
That's
while we are
what I really
wandering the
meant
world.
when I said I'm
Not
good at
500,
maintaining
not any
relationships.
time else during those previous 500 years.
Paimon totally
Just
thought you were
when
just a
we're
bit of a
there.
diva at heart.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same.
What Paimon meant to say was she doesn't like to see you so down.
I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now,
Well,
at
you can
least
figure
the
it out.
choice is in my hands. All right.
You can
it's
figure
about
it out
time to
while
head
making
back.
more macaroni.
Hello should have finished the ending by now.
Sure. Okay, let's head back and check it out.
Are we sure he's finished it? I don't know. But, sure. Let's see what happened. What if he's actually one of those people who hate Furina? That could be a problem.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about
Also,
to pass
hi
on free
again,
food.
Rob.
Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good looking. That's your job.
Damn,
Are
okay.
you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin
Hey,
yours by
I
filling
see an
yourself
annoying
up
girl
with
running
junk all
toward
the
me from the
time.
distance, waving
Of
her arms in
course.
the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Karumi, my
Let's see
neighbor
how
and
you
good friend
changed
since
it.
we were in Kanai, you know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today. But it
The
just
way it
kind of
pronounces
works out because
Kanai
we've known each other
as
for so
well.
long. We used to walk to agency together on days like this, but Star.
And you fixed it to be but Star. Congrats.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing again. We're back. Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
Yeah, we're here to check if the script is finally done.
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead.
But
Paulo's nearly
Star,
done.
yes.
We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Yeah.
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
I mean,
He was
technically
originally
everyone in
supposed to take
Fontaine
the
is,
form
but
of a
you know.
crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Damn.
Sorry.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
Well, there you
That's
go.
right. He has some pretty memorable lines too. Like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid.
So he got, you
If
know what, maybe
become
that's
human,
actually a better role
you
for
can
him
reveal
then.
your secret to no one.
Perhaps.
You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and
Oh boy,
legacy.
that's gonna hit right,
She
right,
kept
way
quiet
too
about
close
all
to
the
home for
trials and
Furina, isn't
tribulations
it?
she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they
Well, we
decided
know
they
all
didn't
about
want me
illnesses that
anymore.
can't be treated. That was the
I
entire
spent
plot in
some years
Sumeru,
taking
or well, a big
whatever
part
work
of
I
it.
could find and trying
You know,
to manage my illness
what was
with
it called?
various
Elazar?
medicines.
Pretty sure.
But Whenever I had a bad
Something
flare-up,
along those lines.
I'd be lying in an alleyway for days at a time. It was like that until the
But
director
yeah.
found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her. I said yes. She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up. I know it was all a huge burden on her.
She sounds like a really incredible person.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director.
And then she died.
I was a lost child too when she found me.
Which is stupid.
As the child of a murderer. My parents weren't around when I
Whoa.
was little. So I got
So
sent to an
everyone here got
orphanage.
some backstory,
The other
huh?
kids were always picking fights with me.
Everyone got
They'd
that
say
sad
things like,
backstory.
"Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." It was just to taunt me, though. I was an easy target, and they knew it. One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore. So I ran away. I lost all faith in humanity by that point. Thought the whole world was out to get me.
Let me guess. Fortunately, the next person you ran into was the director.
Yeah. For the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And I promised myself I'd stay here until the day the group parted ways.
The day you hoped would never come.
Oh, look who
times
finally
change.
came out of the little shack.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to. This is
So,
our
are you
new
gonna be one of the
artistic
people who
consultant,
hate her?
Miss Furina.
Furina? The Furina?
Okay,
my
so he
God.
doesn't hate
How
her
did
by
you
the
manage
looks
to
of
wrangle
it.
that?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director. I just wanted to do something to help.
Same here.
Yeah. Everyone
Even
is
so, this
working
is just-
together.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'll
it's
try
good to
calm
know that he isn't a
Now,
Furina hater.
where was I? Ah, yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script.
Alright.
I'm sure you're already
Happy
familiar
ending
with
or
the
sad
beginning of
ending?
the story. A
What's it
little
gonna be?
Oceania decides she wants to become a human against the wishes of her family. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city.
Hey, I see an annoying
Then,
girl run towards me
disaster
from the
strikes.
distance, waving her arms in the air like she totally oblivious any attention she
Distance,
might draw to herself. That girl is Karumi, my neighbor and good friend since we were in Kanai.
What is
you
the
know,
distance,
the kind of friend you'd never seen yourself making today. But it just kind of works because you've known each other for so long.
And that
we
dot
used to walk
there.
on dates together at one days like this, but star.
Okay, you really just shuffled a bunch of stuff together there,
The
huh?
people start to notice that all the fresh
Anyway,
water in the
let's get back to
surrounding
this
area
actual
is
story
slowly
here.
disappearing. The soil is becoming arid, plants and flowers are withering, and the people begin to panic. The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it and investigate the truth of the matter together. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land.
Ah,
As if
yes.
driven by a
The
consciousness of its
usual
own.
story, humans destroying the
Consciousness?
planet.
You mean the water
Humans
is
destroying the
sentient?
planet, what a unique story.
Water
That
as a
totally doesn't
conscious
happen.
entity.
Totally
There's
fictional.
actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis.
And
Her
what
lover
does her
accepts
lover...
her for who she is,
Oh.
and works with her to find a way to bring the water
So
back.
we are looking
However,
seemingly at a happy
unbeknownst
ending.
to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed her secret.
Never mind.
The little
N-
Oceanid
not
is accused of
necessarily.
being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover and the rest of humanity.
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Because, you
Well,
know,
she
that's
mainly
how
wanted
it
to
works
save
if
her
you're a
lover,
hero.
Plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love, one that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
There's actually something else that bothers me. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world. If we're
And that's why they
about
want
dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as
And that's
true
why
to
they
life as
want a
possible.
sad ending? Really? Give her that happy
What
ending.
about if
She would have wanted it
the
to be a
little
happy ending.
Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her. Her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues down the path to extinction.
To be fair, that's what
Sounds
humanity
like
deserves,
too
but
cruel of an ending to me.
again,
And perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
yeah.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death, both arbitrary and meaningless. On the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city. We waited and waited at the rendezvous point.
Who, that's
She never came.
horrible
By
timing
the
for
time
her
we returned to the
disappearance.
city, she disappeared without a trace. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Increasingly, all the signs seemed to point to her being the
It's kind of
latest
suck,
victim
not
in the
gonna
serial
lie. At
disappearance
least we can
case.
all agree on
The
that.
director was the kindest soul in the world. Yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a so-called experiment by someone who had nothing to do with her at all.
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen? It almost seems as if she was moving you to safety.
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing. Villemont might know something, but he won't open up to me.
Well, maybe he could open up to
Villemont?
someone
The
here.
one who's playing the role of the villain?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest of all.
Well, maybe I can talk to him
Grief?
after all.
Guilt, more
I
like.
am the one who brought down this
Also,
vicious villain who is was
I have a
behind
hard
the
time imagining that
serial
anyone took it harder
disappearances
than me.
case.
Because, well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with Aureli.
What? You kept that one quiet.
Yeah, and now is a good
It's
time to
be
reveal
upfront
it.
with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she never considered us as potential romantic partners. Not that
And
it
that's
came as
when
a
you
shock
decided to
or
move to
anything.
Alabama.
It was what I was expecting to hear. So I told her I'd
What
always
would
be
be
there
the
for the
Genshin
troop,
equivalent of
and I'd always
Alabama?
be there for her. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troop no longer required her constant attention, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come.
Paulo.
So if I'm the one
Yeah.
writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by Aureli. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Villemont once and for all, face to face. We've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final decision.
Well then, let's go.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's
Where do we
time to
find
go
this
visit
person?
Villemont.
You
Are they
ready to
also here
face
in
the truth?
Poisson?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes. Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going through right now.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Allons-y.
Alright, where to? Do they live here? No, they do not live here. Oh, wow. They live out on the countryside, apparently. Well, shouldn't be too hard to find them.
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
Okay, that's the spot, huh? Out in the middle of nowhere.
As if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
It's just
Don't worry.
slimes.
We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour.
Exactly. It's literally just a bunch of stupid slimes.
Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
She doesn't have a
Just
vision.
curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Furina in a fight before.
Again, she doesn't have
Yeah,
a vision
but-
yet.
Don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnitium. Miss Freminet said so herself.
That face on the
Seriously.
traveler.
And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway.
Smug
As much as
face.
it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like
Quickly hiding behind
a,
us.
damsel in
No
distress
wonder I
more
want to
than
know your
anything.
location.
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
This doesn't require god level powers. Don't you know any self-defense?
Hey, lay off, all right? My bluff is hanging from a thread here. I'm sorry. I got carried away. Please help us out, would you?
Aw, too bad. I was so
That's
pumped to
life,
feast
yeah.
my eyes on fight mode Furina.
Come on,
Sorry
saying that
to leave all
embarrassment
the
is
heavy
indeed
lifting to
unbearable.
you.
That it be. That
Don't
is.
worry,
That it
piece
be.
of cake.
Even if you wait, who needs to wait? If I can just kill.
Stabilize.
Jumpy, jumpy, go! La la la.
Oh, there's more. Yeah, he speaks so much French here. You could almost think that this entire region was inspired by France.
Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
So, is this the place?
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina doing here?
Yeah, she's helping with the show. You know,
I can
as am
explain.
I.
We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now have everyone except you.
Dorothy explains the whole sequence of events so far to
So-
Vilma.
You think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone?
That's what we're going for here.
I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show.
To
If
do
I
what?
open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit when we're on stage.
Viamant, avoiding the truth will not help anyone. Unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh!
Listen, Viamant.
The
I
fact
used to
what
think
that
that my love for
implies.
Aurelie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the
This
show.
is gonna be a big
The
uh-oh.
little Oceanid cannot
I know
be
he's not
complete unless
directly
we do
responsible
justice to
for her
Aurelie
death.
on an
We already
emotional
took care
level.
of the person behind it.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one.
But what is his
As
involvement
you
with
all
it?
know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough.
Uh-huh.
We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire. So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I realized the drink in question was synth.
Ah, yes, give drugs to everyone in the audience.
Isn't that the drink peddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
I remember that it induces a state of euphoria. It also causes significant harm to the body. Yeah, give everyone in the audience drugs. Perfect. Genius.
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked as well. But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration. The merchant was
guarantees that they'll enjoy the show. I mean, in a way, that is true.
For damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay.
And then
I was going to sort it on my own.
I mean, you can always go back and re-listen.
She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe, and it wasn't my fault. But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point.
And that's when they went after her.
This whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything.
So you brought the director to the attention of the synth dealers. Your mistake gave them a motive to kidnap and murder her.
Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
But I mean, it was a mistake. He didn't intend for it to happen.
You traitor! You knew Aurelie was in danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean, you were afraid? This was a life-and-death situation. We could have saved her! How could you be so stupid?
Please,
Hurry.
try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to stay calm.
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered. She was the love of my life. And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show. How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say
Okay, I
is
feel like the show is slowly falling apart now.
I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that won't bring back the director. What good is my apology now? I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve.
Can you do that after the show, though?
So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Also, that is serious commitment
Go,
there.
get lost! I don't ever want to see your face again.
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you! Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life.
That they do.
How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
You're right.
I'm sorry.
So...
On stage,
Furina
the
coming in
lead
clutch
role is
again?
the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell how much she loved you all, and how much she loved the troupe. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her. And that's what you should be celebrating. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already?
She be spitting bars.
After everything she did
Truly.
for you?
Truly.
Yeah.
That's the wisdom of someone who's lived for over 500
so think
years.
hard about what that means. And then think again about what
But
you
yeah,
hope to achieve
good reason
by
for being
arguing
mad.
with each
It's
other.
true. It's very true.
If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director O'Reilly and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again. If she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
What do you mean does the
Really?
death penalty
But she
still
sounded
apply?
like such a gentle person.
She was
Of course she
executed.
was.
The death
Even her
the death
harshest
penalty
lectures
was
came
carried
from a place
out
of kindness, and it showed.
on the true Archon.
She really was a truly outstanding person.
What you said, it really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but I ended up making it all about me and my self-pity.
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray.
And you know what? Them taking a step
end of the
back
story
will
needs to
happen
focus
in
back on
between
O'Reilly
streams.
herself.
That's right. I'm
She's
cutting
the
you off
true
after this
star of the show.
segment. Might actually be possible to find out more about her fate.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims. If you could find anything that
Yo,
O'Reilly left
yes.
behind,
I told you we would start this
perhaps
quest
we
but
can
not
get
finish
a better
it.
sense of what she went through in her final days.
I told you from the beginning we
You
would
really
start it but
think
not
that's
finish.
possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on O'Reilly's true feelings.
No.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now, and wait for our good news.
The good news will come probably next week. Probably next week. Let me just check. Yeah, it wants me to go there. I will not come there. I will, however, quickly go over here and claim my daily shit. And then we're gonna have to raid someone. Now, who could we raid? That is the
Thank
big
you for-
question. There are probably some options of people who are live. And if not, we could always raid another Genshin streamer. For now, I'm just gonna grab all of this. There we go. Alright, let's see. Need to quickly open the stream manager. And let's see what we have. Danganronpa? I'm thinking Danganronpa. Danganronpa sounds good, right? Danganronpa 2? Goodbye Despair? Because Alex literally just went live 2 minutes ago. It's perfect. It's always extra nice when you can raid right at the start of someone's stream. Game good stream? Why thank you. Let me set this up. Feels like you're only... I mean, I can raid someone else too if you want. But, you know, it just feels like Danganronpa is the type of stuff that... it just works. Alright, so let me set it up. And then we'll head on over. So everyone, thank you very much for watching this stream. My next stream will be on Friday for FNF. Then on Saturday, where we finally continue with club meetings again. And then I'll probably try squeezing in yet an... Actually, no, I won't try squeezing in another Genshin stream next week. There's no reason for me to do that. Unless there's another update. Yeah, you probably won't see Genshin for a while now again. Again, unless there's an update that adds another event or more story. But yeah. Oh, I'm so sad to leave this Furina quest on a... Is it a cliffhanger, really? I'm not sure. It's not a serious cliffhanger, at least. In any event, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you around next time. Alright, bye-bye. And if you're watching this stream after it's been uploaded to YouTube as a VOD, your support has also been greatly appreciated. And if you do want to catch me live in the future, you can check the description down below. You will find a link to my Twitch. I stream there every Friday and Saturday, and sometimes other days as well. In any event, this is it from my end. See you around. Bye-bye.